we live? I think we might be. Oh, why is Streamlabs all messed up? There we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the greatest live show of all time. That is right, everybody. I may or may not include timestamps in the description below. We'll have to see. I can't even do the voice thing properly. Oh, well. With that being said, I'm on my meds again. Yay! Yippee! We're gonna be back to the normal content, the usual stuff. The stuff where we make fun of crazy people on the internet. And we have a good time doing it, okay? Now, granted, it's easier said than done. It takes a while for, the antidepressants to kick in. It'll be like a few months probably. Because I'm back on those as well. But, I also have Adderall again. So it's gonna help me zone the fuck in. It's gonna help me lock in, okay? Which is also gonna help me, have a better time doing YouTube. Just because, if it's easier for me to lock in, I don't have to actively think about it as much. It's like second nature to me. When I'm on my, on my meds, like locking the fuck in. Well, kind of. It really depends on what I'm doing. If I'm doing something I like, then it's like second nature. With that being said, hello, Flourishing Hyacinth. I butchered that, didn't I? Congratulations on being the first person in chat saying I missed you. I missed you too. It's very good to see you again. Hello, Angel HH. Hello, Florida Man. Hello, Randy S. Hello, Anon420 Cereal. Hello, Daniel Barry. Hello, Link of TW. Hello, Desire Arc. The hair looks nice. Thank you, thank you. Hello, Ibrahim, saying, hello, beautiful. Hope you're feeling better. I am feeling a little bit better. It is nice knowing that I've got my meds again, okay? I was about to say that it's time to grind again, but I actually fundamentally oppose, rise and grind culture. Okay, I hate it. It's a psyop, really. It's what it's what rich people want you to think. I got 3 ads, by the way. Well, that's good news. It means YouTube doesn't hate my channel. I'm glad you took your meds. Also, wait, isn't the maximum amount of ads you can get from YouTube 2? I thought they only did 2 ads. Though, to be fair, I've had YouTube Premium for like a year, so who knows? Yeah, I don't know. No? No in response to what? Have good birthday. It's not my birthday. Anyways, I got 3 ads. Is that a real thing? I didn't know you could get 3 ads. It's 3 now? Bro, since when? Wait, that's actually terrible. Wait, that's actually horrendous. 1 minute long? You guys have to watch an advertisement for like the whole minute? Each ad is 20 seconds? Wait, that's horrendous. Since when? I haven't had to watch ads in like years because I've had YouTube Premium for a year. And then before then, if I was ever on my computer, I would just use ad block. And then obviously on my phone, I would get ads, but it was whatever. The most I'd ever get is like the 2 ads in a row. And they'd usually be like 5 seconds each. Ads should be illegal. I don't agree with that because, it is one way that YouTubers make money. No ad block for TV. Oh, if it's for TV, yeah, that's brutal. That's brutal. Yeah, because, like, I'm sure that there's a way to get it on iOS, but I was like, ads on streams is crazy. I mean, I could turn it off, but, like, I like money, okay? I'm desperate for money, okay? But it should hopefully not show them that frequently. Like, hopefully you're not getting ads that often, okay? I'm pretty sure you only get them every once in a while. You should get them at like the start of the stream and or whenever you click, right? So like at the beginning, and then like maybe like, every, I don't know, hopefully 20 minutes to a half hour. You shouldn't be getting them that frequently. All hail our capitalist overlord. No, I'm just a broke bitch. I'm just a broke bitch. Why are you so pretty? Save some lesbians for the rest of us sapphics. Hell yeah. I'm a hardcore lesbian type shit. Hey, Femi. Hello, Scarlet. Hope you're doing well. What's going on? Oh, we're streaming today. We're streaming. And I'm back on my meds. Isn't that so epic? It sure is. You know what? I've decided... I haven't worn the heart choker in most of my streams in a while. We're bringing it back, mainly out of contrarianism. You know, it's like, okay, you know, I wore the more normal looking one for most of my streams for a bit. And now I'm like, you know, I want to go back to the more weird stuff, okay? You know, I want to be weird, okay? I'm going out of my way to, like, you know, not conform at all. It's like, you know what? No, I can wear whatever the fuck I want. If I want to wear some fucking shitty ass heart choker, I'm gonna wear it. If I want to wear you know, a regular dress, I'm gonna wear it. If I want to wear a fucking hoodie and sweatpants, I'm gonna wear it. You know, nobody can stop me, okay? Nobody can stop me. Like diapers. Okay, you guys are insane. No, I do not wear those, okay? Why are you guys like this? I'm glad you like my hair, Jenna Cobb. I'm glad you like it. But yeah, it's very, it's like the extreme side part. It's kind of, it's not as lesbian coded as, like, you know, shaving the one side off, but, you know, it's sort of, anyways. Bro, did I just hear yelling downstairs? Okay, anyways. Awesome. It's giving Ellen vibes. Is that good or bad? The lesbian Harvey Dent cut. I don't even know what that means. You look so much better today. Love the hair, honey. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, I got my meds back. So, yay. Hip hip hooray. Good stuff. Good stuff. It's always good to have your meds, you know? Anyways. With that being said, chat, we've got a lot of good content to go over today, okay? All right. I discovered somebody called Jake Munro, okay? And he's like, he was like originally a goth YouTuber, and then he, abused his wife, I think, and then he became a conservative grifter. So, the first video we're gonna watch today, okay? This will be the first video we watch when we get into the segment-oriented stuff. Is what happened to women. I'm so excited. Chat, who's excited to find out what happened to women? Yay. Yes, Elon Musk in the files. Yeah. Well, we learned that Elon Musk is not as good at being a pedophile as Donald Trump, you know. He's still, you know, he wants to be, but, you know, they were kind of like, I don't know, man, you're kind of weird. Like, even the pedophiles were like, dude, I don't know, Elon, I don't know if you can sit with us. I don't know if you could sit with us. Yeah, new freak to observe. Yes, chat. We have acquired a new freak to observe. Has the pedophile left apologized for lying about Pizzagate? Look, I'm going to be so for real. I'm 21 years old. I don't even know what the fuck Pizzagate is. I've heard of it. I don't know what it's about. Apparently, it was some culture war shit from like 2015 or something. Bro, when that shit was relevant, I was like barely sentient, okay? Like, why do you expect me to even know? Why would I know? Can you go over the Epstein files? Maybe at some point we will. I don't know, dude. It's like, I mean, what am I meant to do? Read that? There's like a lot of stuff to go over. Also, my cat's trying to get out, which is completely unrelated to the sentence that I was previously saying, but I am now going to stand up and walk over to the door and let her out. Because, you know. Anyways. Where were we? Pizzagate is pedophilia. I don't even, yeah, okay, I'm not sure what, like, okay, I guess there was pedophiles involved. I don't know what Pizzagate is, though. I don't know, like, was it a specific event? You know, not the files on stream. We might go over the files at some point. I want to do some more lighthearted stuff as I ease back into content creation that's not extremely mentally ill. You know, over the past few weeks, I've been extremely mentally deficient with the style of content I've been making. You know, it's very unfortunate. Yeah, I am kind of retarded. But oh well. Oh well, I guess. Oh well, I guess I'm just kinda retarded. Oh well, what can I say? I know, and I was very worried. No worries, but I'm back. I'm back. You should, like, text me more. Bet. Absolutely. I need to text people more in general. I've been very reclusive lately. Why can't I pronounce words? Yeah, I've been way too reclusive, and it's been a problem. My mental health was really starting to spiral out of control. Okay, it was really starting to spiral. Okay, and that's not a good thing. I don't like when that happens. It's bad. It's bad to spiral out of control. So let me pound that pussy. Yo, that's crazy. Um, yes, I'm in the remaining files that haven't been released yet. Yo, true. How'd you know? How'd you know? Cute collar. Thank you. You know what? I want to go for like the most extreme side part. I gotta remember. I can't be other people's bitch. Okay, unless it's like in a hot way. Okay, I can't just. I need to do the opposite of what people consider fashionable. Okay, of what people like in terms of fashion. Okay. Oh, what's that middle part is in? Fucking side part it is. Oh, the side part comes back into fashion. I'm doing a middle part. You better believe I'm fucking switching that shit as soon as I can. It's like I almost forgot the reason I did the side part. I'm like, I want to be different, not the fucking. I don't want to be. I'm probably gonna be goth or emo or scene or some fucking accumulation of all of those things at some point in the future. We'll see. We'll see. I want to get into fashion, but I've been so depressed, and also money is like a thing that exists and that I don't have an infinite source of. I don't have an infinite supply of money, sadly. Oh well. But yeah, I also need to be careful to not get into like the trap of like conformist alt aesthetics. And what I mean by that is it's what I like to call TikTok alt, where basically what you have is you have people that, take aesthetics that were previously alt and have become mainstream, and then they sort of just mishmash them together to create some weird clusterfuck amalgamation of a bunch of different aesthetics, but like in a bad way. I want to do that, but like in a good way. Or where I'm just like a different aesthetic every day. I want to get to, I don't know. I need to like learn how to do makeup and stuff first though. Cause like if I don't even learn how to do makeup, if I don't even learn the basics, I'm never going to be able to mishmash different aesthetics together. I'm never going to be able to, figure out like, you know, love your mic. How much was it? It was $50. It's a Fifine K670. I got it like, I don't know, when I was 14. I'm 21 now. This thing has lasted me like 7 years. It's awesome. Hello 33. It's good to see you again. Anyways, makeup I can teach you. Bet. Oh, well, to be fair, a lot of people have said that, and then I just like forgot about it. Oh damn, it looks fairly new too. Wait, what looks new? What looks new? I'm confused. Oh, the microphone. Sorry, I'm very smart. Being trans is now conformist. Well, that's just not true. That's just like statistically wrong. Because most people aren't trans, statistically speaking. If we're 1% of the population, that means that most people are not like us. We are the exception, not the rule, right? Most of society is not trans, so how the fuckity fuck would we be the new norm? That doesn't make any sense. Be so for real. Why are you trans? Because I have dysphoria. Are not like us, like Kendrick Lamar. Yeah. Boy, not like us. Yeah. Femyoz is Kendrick Lamar confirmed. I didn't mean to come across that way. I didn't mean to, say it in a way that's like condescending or whatever. But you get what I mean. Also, hello, Dahlia. It's good to see you again. Always good to have regulars and people I recognize. Femyoz, what's the gayest thing you've ever done? Gay sex. Yeah, the new norm mentioned. If there was an all-women's gym, would you try to join? No, I don't go to the gym. Why would I try to join something that I don't go to? I'm like, what? You think I'm fucking anything other than extremely lazy? Anyways. Also, I don't see what the point of going to like a gender-specific gym is. I probably just wouldn't care. Or I'd rather just work out at home. I'd rather just work out at home. Like, I don't want to work out in public and be like my most chopped, greasiest self, you know, in front of other people. Fuck that. Have you tried being a boy? Yes, I have. Anyways. Cute little twink. Why, thank you. Why, thank you. When did you decide to change? When I was 19. 2.5 years ago. I'm 21 now. Soon I'm going to be talking about being, you know, closing in on 22. That's going to be interesting. You know, I'm closer to my 22nd birthday than my 21st birthday. I was barely 19 when I started estrogen, to be fair. But yeah. Hey off, Femi in chat. Hello, Blaze Tie. Thank you for reminding me to take my E. No worries. Yo, Femyoz. Yo, what's up? Hello. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. If not, I'm going to be very, very sad. Which is the literal opposite of being happy. That's right. Wouldn't that be so bad? You would hate that, wouldn't you, chat? That's right. You wouldn't want to make me angry, now would you? Also, chat, I just noticed something. We're currently streaming in front of 126 of our closest friends and family, but we only have 26 likes, chat. Can we fix that? Double tap to smash like. It's free. It's easy. There's no logical reason not to do it. It boosts me in the algorithm. Just double tap. Why not? Support a fellow, not a fellow small creator. That doesn't make sense. Most people watching this probably aren't content creators. Double tap to smash like to support a small content creator. Okay? You know, because let's just say my channel's not doing the best right now, okay? All right, we're kind of dead channel maxing right now. It is what it is, you know. But yeah, anyways, I would double tap to smash. I mean, close enough, close enough. Vibe check. The vibes are good. The vibes are really good today. Yes, support your local puppy girl. Indeed. Well, technically I'm a cat girl, but you know, then again, I don't know. I have some puppy girl tendencies. Support a 5'5" girl. First of all, I'm 5'6". Thank you very much. Dead channel maxing 2, electric boogaloo. Yeah, this isn't the first time I've been dead channel maxing. It's not the size that matters, it's how you use it. Okay, interesting. I'm not sure what that has to do with anything that we were talking about, but thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Support a bottom. I am not a bottom, okay? What are we talking about? Anyways. Hello, 67 Ford Mustang. Very good username. Very good stuff. Can I grab it from behind like a handlebar? Really good chat message. Really, really good stuff. Okay. T-Girl called a black ice agent hard R N-word on camera. Your thoughts on that? You know, I mean, I can't be too mad, you know. I guess maybe it's not the best optics, you know. I guess the only criticism I would have is maybe bad optics, you know. We're not beating the white T-girl racism allegations anytime soon with this one, if that's real. This is a dude? Nope. Fuck optics. Yeah, fair. Look, I don't know, calling black people the N-word, I mean, a little bit cringe, you know, not necessarily something that I would do personally, but, you know, I mean, if it's an ICE agent, I mean, I don't know, dude, I can't be too mad about it, like, yeah, it's like, I'm sorry, but like, yeah, exactly, he forfeited his blackness, okay? It's like, is it really that wrong to call a race traitor the N-word? I don't know, man, I don't know. It's like, well, I mean, it's not like he respects himself anyway, like, he's like a race traitor, so... Yeah, I'm just saying! Sorry. Anyways. No, it doesn't. And you guys take everything so seriously. There's better, less racist things you can tell ICE agents that they would deserve. Well, yeah, no shit. No shit. Can you let a motherfucker shitpost? Let me shitpost. Oh my god. Now my own mods don't even... my own mods are like, no, Femyoz. This is no laughing matter. Yeah, it's like, well, I'm assuming that I'm assuming the trans girl, wait, what skin color was the trans girl? Was she, like, you didn't specify, like, was she white or was she black? Because I'm imagining it's like a black girl saying this to a black guy. Oh, she was white. Okay, if she was white, then like, ooh, yeah, no, Yo, thank you, Les, yes, for the $10, you beautiful fucking bastard. Very much appreciated. Thank you, thank you. Either way, it is funny. Either way, I do like to take the contrarian position sometimes. Yeah, based. Yeah, based. Based as fuck. Yeah, it's even funnier now. Dude. You were supposed to debate the racists, not join them. Anyways. It would be funny as fuck if all trans were openly racist and the left would have to openly support racism again. No, that would not be funny. That would be terrible. Also, black trans people exist too, you know? Are they all gonna be like fucking neo-Nazis as well? Are they all gonna be Kanye Wests? Little transgender Kanye Wests running around? Racism is hating other races. That's it. That's not it. There's way more to racism than just that. If you think that that in order to be a racist, you have to hate other races, you are so sadly mistaken, my friend. You could not be more wrong. Obviously, yeah, black trans people are going to be, on average, less racist than white trans people. I feel like that goes without saying. Yeah, if you're a part of a marginalized group, you're going to be less likely to be hostile towards said marginalized group. Same thing with trans people. Trans people are less transphobic on average than cis people. That's just because, you know, it's in our best interest to not be transphobic. That doesn't mean that we can't be. There are trans people that are, right? There are the ones that are, you know, traitors that, you know, try to sell us out. But, you know, we don't fuck with those people. They can't sit with us. Straight phobic isn't real. I'm sorry. What the fuck does it mean to be? Who is straight phobic? Where is this happening? Where is the systemic oppression against straight people? I'm confused. I'm a straight trans. Type shit. You're hot. Thank you. What is your favorite flavor of Kool-Aid? Kool-Aid flavored. Yeah, that's right. It's the same logic of if you're bisexual, you can't be homophobic. What's interesting is the homophobic idea that being gay is a choice most likely stems from closeted bisexual people. Okay? It is closeted bisexual people that believe that being gay is a choice. Because for them, it really is. It really is a choice because it's like, well, I could choose a man or a woman. I'm attracted to either. So, you know, if I just sleep with women, it's a choice. Right? That's where that comes from. Right? Anyone that says that being gay is a choice, start questioning them. Because they're probably not straight. If it's a choice for them, they're not heterosexual. Just saying. If I'm a bit gay, can I be homophobic? I mean, you can. You shouldn't, though. But technically, you can. It's not a good idea, too. It's bad. But you can. Nobody's going to stop you, I guess. People are going to make fun of you for it, probably. But anyways. Let's see. Stop projecting your stupidity onto people who disagree with you. I don't think it's stupid to say that anyone that thinks that being gay/straight is a choice is probably bisexual. Or some flavor of queer. Because at the end of the day, if that's what you believe, then like, what does that say about you? Well, it says that naturally you're attracted to the same sex. It means that you are capable of being attracted to people that are the same gender as you. And that you're choosing to only engage in straight sex, in straight relationships. That's called being bisexual, my friend. That is not straight. Anyways. Let's see here. Some flavor of queer should be a coffee flavor. Real, but also I don't like coffee. Anyways, you're trans? Yup. It's called being normal. No, what I described is closeted bisexual people. Fuck, marry, kill. Tom Holland, Timothy Chalamet, and Bill Skarsgård. That's hard. I would definitely either fuck or marry Timothy Chalamet. Probably marry Timothy, fuck Tom, kill Bill? Because it rhymes? I don't know, dude. Marry Tom Holland, honestly. Either works. Either works. No, because it's like, but also at the same time, it's like, you know. So, you know, Timothy Chalamet is like hot. And, you know, if I marry him, that, you know, just because I fuck Tom Holland doesn't mean I also get to fuck Timothy Chalamet if I'm married to him. You know? Are you a top? Yes, I'm definitely a big, strong top. Don't listen to my mods, okay? They're gonna say the opposite, okay? Just don't listen to them, okay? I'm totally... Story guy, let's be real. There is only XX and XY chromosomes. Okay, what about XXY? What about XO? What about XYY? What about XXX? Those exist? Just saying. Yeah, yes, the two genders, XY and YY. True, truth nuke. Yo, true. Anyways. You're so much more to being a person than a sexual orientation. Well, it's a good thing that, you know, I emphasize those other characteristics that aren't just my sexuality. Whoa, crazy. Is XO and XXX real? Yes. Those other chromosomes are under 1%, dude. Yeah, and roughly 1% of people are trans. What's your point? You're talking about a fraction of the population regardless. You're talking about a very small amount of people. I mean, it's a large amount of people. You know, if you accumulate it, but you know, proportionally speaking, yeah, it's obviously we're the exception. Nobody is saying that everyone is trans. Anyways, you don't have a uterus, you're not a woman. So if a woman gets her uterus removed, is she no longer a woman? Since that's the necessary prerequisite for womanhood. Anyways. Crazy, everything in these comments is about sexuality. Yeah, like, that's the thing is I'm just responding to what I'm getting. You know, I'm just responding to the dumb shit that people say. What can I say? I'm saying everyone is trans actually. Sorry, conservacucks. Real. It's not 1%, it's 0.001%. The point still stands. Nothing about my point changes. We're talking about one exception versus another. We're talking about an exception, not a rule, not a general rule of thumb. So, like, obviously it's going to be the case that generally men have XY chromosomes. Generally women have XX. Generally speaking, that's the case. It's not always the case. It's just a general rule of thumb. But general rule of thumbs don't necessitate no exceptions at all. Right? Anyways, Meghan Trainor. I've gotten that comparison quite a bit. Anyways. Why did you transition? Dysphoria. Anyways. You can get your uterus taken out and then you're still a woman? Ah, so it's not actually a matter of whether or not you have a uterus that determines whether or not you're a woman. Because you agree that there are women that don't have uteruses. You agree, because if somebody gets their uterus taken out, they're still a woman. So it's not a matter of whether or not they have a uterus. So what is it? Anyways, I transitioned for the fatter gawk. Type shit. Let's go. You could do what you want, but don't expect people to perceive you how you like. Well, I mean, that's kind of the whole point of transitioning, right? I mean, that's part of it. You know, I do want people to perceive me a certain way. I mean, I feel like that goes without saying. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better than it used to be. You know, if I specifically, you know, I don't know, let's say I get FFS. Okay, let's say I get facial feminization surgery. Do a little bit more voice training. I think I could pass flawlessly. Just saying. Just need a little bit of surgery for that. You're pretty hot. Why, thank you. Misty Diva, welcome back. People here are being quite disrespectful. I say be yourself. And I agree with that. I agree with that. You know, the main message to take away from any of my content is to not give a fuck what retarded people think and just do whatever you want. Just do whatever you want. Who cares? Ear piercing 2026. I should get an ear piercing, especially if I'm going to do my hair like this, where it's like, you know, on the side. You'll never be a man? True. How do you do the voice? Voice training, I guess. I don't know. I just sort of like, I started out like deeper than this, I guess. And then I sort of went up here and, you know, yo, I used to be subscribed. What happened? No idea. YouTube hates me. Resubscribe if you're unsubscribed for whatever reason. Breast implants. Facial feminization is more important than that. I already have breasts from HRT. They're just not that big. You know? Damn, what an inspo. Thank you. Let's see. How do y'all get the money for all the surgeries? Saving and or going into debt. Yup. And oftentimes sex work. It sucks, but it is what it is. You don't need that surgery. I disagree. In order for me to not have dysphoria, I do. I don't want dysphoria. Well, I'll sub another queer creator added to the collection. Type shit. Let's fucking go. You do sex work? No, I don't. I might do online sex work at some point. I've done things adjacent to it for money, but that's because I need to survive. And I'm probably gonna get into it just because I need money for surgery. Sex work for the win, though? Yes, but also it can be dangerous. So be careful. Okay? What's the gayest thing you've ever said? Couldn't tell you. Too many gay things to count. I haven't posted anything on OnlyFans, for anyone wondering. I made it as a meme originally. It was never meant to be a serious thing. It might end up being a serious thing. Now that I'm not as chopped as I used to be, you know, I still think I'm chopped, but oh well. Some people disagree with me on that for some reason. Some people would buy my OnlyFans if I put content on there. I actually had people buy it despite the fact that there was no content. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I just, and that's without me promoting it. That's just like, you know, girl, you're amazing. Thank you. Teasing us. I get compared to Meghan Trainor a lot. Which, I mean, fuck yeah. I mean, she looks cunt. You seem very nice. Thank you. Hello, Icon. Good to see you again. You should work in sales. The issue with that is, I'm not very good at selling things if I'm not passionate about them. And most of the things that I would be selling in sales would not be things that I'd be passionate about. I'm just saying. Whereas selling myself, I'm very, very, very good at selling myself. Why? Because I'm passionate about myself. I have the right amount of narcissism. I just wait for the free leaks. Okay. You could be your twin who Meghan Trainor is? Yeah. Well, I'm a lot younger than she is, but yeah. Hold on, you're the ambassador to Ukraine? In what capacity is that? Oh, I just am, dude. I'll help you get money? Yes, please. Any and all money or ways of helping me get money. Very much appreciated. Anyways. Femi, I'm officially 4 months clean from SH and I've been doing good getting myself up in the morning. Well, I'm really glad to hear that. Anyways. I've seen the memes. I know trans girls always... Okay. Okay, alright. Okay. Sorry if this is too personal, but I'm guessing you're autistic. True, I am autistic. Like, severely autistic. Anyways. Where are you from? I'm from Kabul, Afghanistan. Why are all of America's youth batshit crazy? So this is, my friend, is what we call confirmation bias. You see whatever it is that you look for. So if you think that the youth are crazy, you'll look for instances of people that are crazy. It'll reaffirm your biases. You'll watch whatever fucking crazy people you see on the news. Oh, the youth these days, they're fucking crazy. You think that the youth are stupid, you'll find instances of them being stupid. Oh, wow, they can't even read. Who would have guessed? They're fucking retarded, right? You do whatever it is that you can to reaffirm your biases. What level autistic are you? My son is 2. I'm level 100 autism, okay? Anyways. Let's see. Do you happen to rate your daily bowel movements? Alright, dude. Alright. Yeah. Okay. Alright, really good stuff. Competitive autism? Yes. Yes, I am a competitive autist. I have the most autism out of everyone in the world. That's right. Isn't that so awesome? It sure is. What does bottom surgery cost? I don't know. I'm not getting bottom surgery. I'm getting facial feminization surgery instead, which is way more important to me. And that's probably going to be like, I don't know yet. I've booked a consultation. It's going to be next week. I'll have to see what the price is. I'm guessing it's going to be like somewhere from 10 to 20,000 after insurance covers it. So I'm going to have to pay like probably like 10 to 20,000 out of pocket. So, yeah. You would be more beautiful if you didn't swear so disgustingly. Be a lady. How about I be whatever the fuck I want? Why would I care what you have to say? 10 to 20, that's not bad. Yeah, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, it could end up being more than that. I don't know. That's just my guess. But I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Anyways. Are you a trans woman? Yes, I am. Oh, man, anyways. Streamer is annoying. Yeah, right. I feel like every streamer is kind of annoying, though. Most streamers are either annoying or boring, so I'll choose annoying over boring any day. Any day of the week. 100 million%. 100 out of 100 million times. Or, sorry, 100 million out of 100 million times, I will choose annoying over boring. Just saying. With that being said, chat, I want to watch somebody called Jake Munro. I'm so excited, okay? He made a video called What Happened to Women. Now, this guy was originally a goth content creator who would focus on whatever mental illness he was focusing on at the time. I don't know, dude. But now he's become an anti-woke grifter, which is a whole separate type of mental illness, okay? So, yeah, anyways, let's see. What happened to women? So, right off the bat, cringy dramatic intro. You're like 42 years old. What are you doing? Dog, you don't have aura. You're old. You're old. You're old and you're weird.
Ooh, can't live with them?
Women, am I right?
Now, it is interesting how there does seem to be a drastic difference.
I love the part where he doesn't soundproof his, you know, the room he's recording in. So we get this horrible echo.
Between men's political ideologies, actually how they act within these ideologies, both left and right, and also the amount of women going into leftism and liberalism, and in fact, how they act within.
Well, yeah, I mean, statistically speaking, women are gonna be less likely to be rightoids. Why? Because the rightoids are suppressing their bodily autonomy. So yeah, of course, women on average are gonna be more progressive because the system isn't as kind to them as it is to men. Just saying.
Liberalism, because it is different. You know, you have a liberal man and you have a liberal woman. Statistically speaking, they do behave differently within these things.
Whoa, men and women on average behave differently. Holy shit, bro, that's crazy.
Yet another behavior that is specifically tied to women and not men. Another reason why we are not the same. So when you understand these graphs, when you understand the very nature of women, it's time for us to closer study
the nature of women. You showed one graph that says, yes, men and women are different in this way. Whoa, dude, holy shit. I guess now we fully understand female nature. Okay, dude, is this gonna be some biological essentialist bullshit?
the very nature of leftist women. So,
of leftist women specifically. Okay, all right.
if most women, or if most liberals are women,
that's, I mean, maybe the majority technically, but no, there's gonna be a lot of men and women that are liberals. What are we talking about?
this psychological study here, which I have already discussed, would suggest.
Oh, here we have a study about left-wing authoritarianism. See, the problem isn't that they're leftists, it's that they're authoritarians, okay? Authoritarianism is the part that's bad, not leftism.
Exactly what we're seeing in their behavior. Right?
Who is they? Who is in favor of authoritarianism if not the far right?
Liberalism seems to affect women more.
That doesn't make them evil.
Women seem to behave worse within their liberalism, statistically speaking. This psychological study then...
Yeah, probably because they're too close to the center.
...shows that left-wing authoritarianism, LW...
Yeah, authoritarianism. Yeah, notice the word authoritarianism.
...is higher in personality traits like the dark triad.
Yeah, Yeah, because they're authoritarians. But if you... replace authoritarianism with libertarianism. So if you're a left-wing libertarian like me, you'll notice that this dark triad triangle suddenly disappears. Isn't that crazy?
Machiavellianism, narcissism, and psychopathy. You combine these two things, we start to connect the dots. We start to realize things. We start to...
Oh, we connect the dots.
Notice a pattern.
We're noticing patterns now, are we? We're noticing things.
As it were. Because we are pattern recognizers. We are noticers.
Get off of schizo YouTube, dude.
Of these patterns.
Guys, I'm so smart. I'm like a quirky schizophrenic pattern recognizer, guys. I recognize the patterns of the Jews when I see it.
Because we're smart. So, now
he's so smart, guys.
Now we know this. Now we know this information. Women are far more likely to become liberal. They're far more likely to be far more disruptive and authoritarian within their liberalism.
Dog, what are we talking about?
And they're far more likely to have psychopathy, narcissism, and Machiavellianism.
Whoa, hold on. So the conclusion you've drawn from this is that women are more likely to experience personality traits of the dark triad. See how this isn't adding up? Aren't women less likely to be serial killers? If it was the case that women were more likely to be psychopaths, where are the female serial killers at? I want to know, not just because I think that it would be hot, but because, where the fuck are they, okay? Where are they? Where are the female serial killers? Why are most serial killers men? If anything, the dark triad is statistically more likely to apply to men. Just saying.
As leftists within this. Now you apply that to the fact that most goths these days are now women, primarily.
What does that have to do with anything?
And we start to see...
It's probably because it's more socially acceptable for women to be goth than for men to be goth. If men are goth or more androgynous, they get fucking outcast. Right? So obviously, men are less likely to do it. Men are less likely to wear makeup, etc. Why? Because it's not as socially acceptable. Whereas being a goth girl is very, very not only socially acceptable, but socially desirable in mainstream society. It has gone mainstream for women to be goth. So of course you're gonna see a lot more goth women or people that have a goth aesthetic, rather. They're probably not really goth.
Exactly what happened with goth and why the decline happened. You get women running stuff.
Declined in what way? What are we talking about? There's more people that present as goth than ever. Now you could say that it's been watered down, and I'd agree with that. But I don't care because it means more hot people. Who fucking cares, dude? But you're a goth trans. Do I look goth? This is not goth. Like, what are we talking about? In what world is this goth? Even if I had the goth aesthetic, I wouldn't be goth. I don't have, you know, the goth music taste. I don't listen to the music. Maybe I have the same mindset of like, you know, saying fuck conformity. That goes for any alt aesthetic. And at this point, goth has been completely co-opted by people that view it as just that, an aesthetic. And at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having that aesthetic. But I've always been of the belief of just having whatever aesthetic you like. Just wear whatever the fuck you want. If you like something, you know, more socially acceptable, more conventional, wear that. But question, am I wearing this because I like it or because other people like it? Right? Same thing with any goth aesthetic, right?
Oh, it's over. I don't need to quote George Orwell again.
Lovely.
What with his women are the worst of it, right? They're the swallower of slogans.
They're so true.
The sniffers out.
Women, am I right?
The nosers out, I believe is the phrase he used, of those who do not truly align with the ideology of the party that they've chosen to truly support. Basically,
I don't know, maybe this is an example of me being male brand, because I'm not in it for aesthetic reasons, I'm in it for ideological ones.
what I'm saying is, women, narcissistic women affected by dark triad personality traits, have infested goth and made it all about them. They want to say it's all about...
What are we talking about?
The ideology, it's all about the politics, but...
Goth isn't an ideology for any of these people. What are we talking about? If we're talking about mainstream goth girls, they're not doing it because of ideological reasons. They're generally going to be more liberal or left-wing on average, right? As for any category of alt people. But, you know, that's also going to be because of social ostracization. Fuck. Can't even fucking speak properly. God damn. And a lot of these goth girls don't really, they're not really anything more than just goth as an aesthetic. But I think that they know that. I don't think that they're unaware of that fact. I think they just like the way it looks. And so they dress like that. And there's nothing wrong with that.
This is purely just an extension of this graph right here. They're not tolerant of anything or anyone who does not agree.
Not tolerant of anything or anyone. If anything, that sounds like a right-wing tendency. It's actually the right wing that's not very tolerant, you know, when it comes to, you know, trans people or queer people in general, for that matter. You know, immigrants, etc. You're not very tolerant at all.
With this. So they're not actually individuals, which is what goth is actually about. They're actually just a communist collective. Individuality is their antithesis. I've already said this before in a clip over on X. Follow me on X, it's there. And you can see symptoms of this all the time. You can see this kind of behavior. You can see symptoms of narcissism, narcissistic females.
So again, this is just some like armchair psychology bullshit. Oh, they're like when narcissism, they're like when you have narcissistic personality disorder. You're not a psychologist, shut the fuck up. You have no idea what you're talking about. You're some retard on the internet.
I said on Twitter, never underestimate the female ego. Now this isn't like a male
ego. What's different about the male and the female ego?
Whose existence of which is presumed. The male ego is presumed, which is why they hate men so much. They presume a man has a gigantic ego. They hate this.
Who is there? Who is making this assumption? What are we talking about?
A man, because a man is right. A man is right to have an ego.
How do you know he isn't a psychologist? Because no psychologist talks like this. No psychologist says, oh, you're left-wing and, you know, maybe like slightly authoritarian. That means that you have NPD. No psychologist would ever say this.
We made everything. But people underestimate the female ego. They don't think it's there. They don't think it's real. They think ego is specifically a very masculine thing. The female...
No, maybe you think that, but no, most people don't think that.
Ego is worse. It's more vindictive.
No, it's really not worse. They're bad in different ways.
It's more covert.
Yeah, because we're, well, generally going to be socialized to be more covert, right? Women are more socialized to be more covert. They're socialized to believe that, you know, if you're too direct, if you're too, if you come across as rude, that it's bad if you're a woman. You don't want to come across as bitchy, right? Whereas when a guy does it, it's like, oh, dude, he's a fucking Giga Chad, bro. He's speaking his mind. He's assertive. He knows when to speak up for himself, right? It's perceived differently in society. So obviously, it's going to manifest in different ways depending on what's socially acceptable at the time. So yeah, of course, women are going to be more covert about it because that's what's more socially acceptable. That is the socially acceptable way of expressing it.
It's usually mired in gaslighting. I'm actually a really great person, really. I'm thinking about everybody but myself. That's the female ego, willing to throw away entire civilizations just to look really good. To sleep better at night.
I don't think that's female specific.
To signal their virtues to the herd. Look at me! Look.
Yeah, that's not just women that do that. Men do this just as much. They just do it in slightly different ways.
Look at me. Which is why then we see this exact behavior reflected within Goth. Look at me, right? You've got these women who are chasing trends as Goth, which is unbelievably antithetical to the entire Goth ethos anyway. Wearing the same ankh belts as each other because they all buy from the same Shein outlet, which is the same shop that TikTok uses, so you can't use that excuse. It's all the same place. I don't mind consumerism, I enjoy it. I'm a capitalist.
Yeah, wow, that's awesome. Okay, then why, if you're in favor of consumerism and consuming all the slop, then why are you saying that as if it's like an own or like a bad thing about them?
I like capitalism. I think Goth and capitalism go together.
No, they really don't.
Like coffee and half, right?
I don't think that that's what the original Goth people would have been saying. The original people that created the Goth aesthetic as we know today, the original people that dressed this way, that were alternative and rejected by society, were far left, my friend. They were not rightoids like you. They were not, yes, I love capitalism and the status quo. These were not status quo warriors.
It's great. It works really, really great. There's a lot of money to be made selling ornate, pretty dresses to women, actually. But yes, they're trend chasers. They like to...
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about modern day fucking, fast fashion bullshit, then yeah, obviously. But back in the day, there was no, big corporations that were selling Goth clothing. You want to know what these people did? They made it themselves. They would find some cheapo old clothing, right? That they'd get it for real cheap, and then they'd do it themselves. They'd paint it, they'd make stuff out of it, they'd change it, make it into its own thing. That's what they did back in the day. Okay, they didn't fucking buy it from Shein.
To match the herd. They like to parrot the same phrases in the same way, using the same words and the same cadences, wearing the same dresses from the same places. Signaling to the crowd, to the herd, I don't like this person. As do you all. I'm just like you.
Wow. Isn't that what you're doing with your conservative grift, though? You're just doing that, but for conservatives?
It's a very performative thing, isn't it? Like TikTok.
Right. As opposed to you, who's, doing a performative thing in front of multiple cameras right now.
TikTok, you see women all the time filming themselves doing altruistic things. Instead of just doing the altruistic thing, they film it instead. They have to put it out there. Look at me, look what I'm doing. But Jake, you're doing the exact same thing.
I'd rather they do both than neither, to be honest. Yeah, you are. You're being performative as fuck right now. You're dressed like the fucking Joker, dude. You have your makeup on like you're the Joker.
See, some could argue that by doing this within the Goth subculture is a fantastic way to get yourself ostracized by the entire subculture I have aligned with.
You were already ostracized, because you were an abuser, allegedly. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and you also cheated on your ex-girlfriend a bunch. Allegedly. Yeah. So, yeah, no, they were not accepting of you. You'd already been ousted.
The last 20 years. I truly, ultimately, on the face of it, don't have anything to gain from this. I'm simply just telling...
Yeah, no, you totally don't have anything to gain from being a conservative grifter. Yeah. Right, of course. Yeah, no, nothing to gain on your dying YouTube channel by being a conservative grifter, one of the most lucrative sources of money imaginable.
The truth. And herein lies the problem. Herein lies the hatred that they have for yours truly. Women, especially narcissistic leftist women, do not like being held accountable.
True. Women hate accountability. So true.
They hate that shit. They hate
men love being held accountable, though.
Being called out. They hate being held.
Yeah, but men love being called out. Men love it when people call them out on their bullshit. It's their favorite. Yeah, they wish it happened more, actually. You know, every single man I've ever talked to is just like, man, I love it when people call me out on my bullshit. You know, they never get mad. They never get upset. No, that would never happen. It's only women.
Accountable. This is why they get so whenever I call them out, whenever I point out how stupid they are. Most men will take that shit.
Yes, women are so stupid.
On the chin, like I do.
Yeah,
they make
it's because men are strong.
Videos about me all day, every day, because they assume that I am going to take it like a man, which is usually the general thought process for a lot of these.
No, when I make a video on you, it's because you're retarded and easy to make fun of, and because you say so much retarded shit that it gives me a lot to respond to, because it's funny and entertaining.
Liberal women. I can do whatever I want, because at the end of the day, it's going to be mature men that fix everything at the end of the day. That put all the potted plants and everything and all the props back where they were so we can start filming again tomorrow.
A lot of conservatives reject him for wearing makeup. Yes, but a lot of them wouldn't. A lot of them would have them as like their token goth guy. Where it's like, see, being conservative is cool and edgy and countercultural, right? Now, he's a bit late to the game. He's a bit late to the party, and that's probably just due to the fact that he's fucking old. He's, like, obviously a very old person. You know, he's, like, twice my age. But, you know, at the end of the day, him being old aside, it's like, yeah, a few years ago, this would have been very, very lucrative. He's just a bit late to the party.
Tomorrow. I get to do whatever I want, smash things, destroy the patriarchy, because at the end of the day, the patriarchy will still be there to make sure we're
yeah, but the patriarchy harms men as well. You know that, right?
all nice and safe, and everything is running smoothly. But Goth was specifically attractive because there's the opportunity to dress up. You know, putting on makeup and fun, cute little dresses and stuff like that. They are
and pretending to be the jonkler.
Narcissists, okay? They want to be the authority above anyone and everyone.
Well, that's just not true. I mean, maybe there's some narcissists out there, but most leftists I encounter, not really. Now, there are going to be some people, and I think you touched on this earlier in the video, right? So I do want to acknowledge that use leftism as an aesthetic. They use it as a shield, right? And I've talked about this numerous times, right? I cannot stand people that call themselves leftists, but they A, support capitalism, and B, are fucking pussies. And what I mean when I say that they're fucking pussies is they get offended over the most harmless jokes imaginable, right? I will make a joke about how Charlie Clankirk I'll make a joke about how George Droid mogs Charlie Clankirk, okay? And I have people that will get mad at me for that. Somehow. Yes, I've genuinely had people get mad at me for that and say that I am racist. People like that do not help our cause. They hurt it. Okay? Those are not real leftists, though. They're not left-leaning in the slightest. They just skinwalk people like me as a part of their aesthetic.
They like to talk a lot of game. They like to go after a lot of dudes because a lot of dudes in today's culture are not allowed to respond. They're not allowed to call women out, right? That's a big no-no. You don't do that.
What are we talking about? I make fun of men and women. Also, thank you, Mommy Ramiro, for the 2 saying, "Hey, Femi, you look cute tonight. Awesome stream, by the way." Thank you. I'm glad you've been enjoying it. I'm glad you've been enjoying it. Claims to be gothic, isn't counterculture at all. Yeah, I would say that spiritually, I'm more gothic than this guy. Like, this guy has, like, you know, more of a gothic aesthetic. You know, he's weird looking, but, like, in, like, a goth kind of way, right? I mean, the goal, if you're going to be, you know, if you're going to have it, but I feel like it's almost, like, performative. It's almost performative in a way. Like, he's trying to be weird and scary looking. Like, it's not like this is just like the aesthetic. I think he's doing it because it's a part of his bit. It's a part of his facade, if you will. He's doing it because he creates a almost a caricature of a goth person. Not because it truly represents him. Also, thank you, Batal Crafter, for the $10, you beautiful fucking bastard, saying we watching a goth wannabe Milo Yiannopoulos. Yeah. And again, it's funny because, like, I don't have much of a goth aesthetic, you know? I just, like, wear whatever the fuck I want. Spiritually, I'm more goth than this guy. Just from the sole standpoint of me being an actual nonconformist. You know, when it comes to conforming to societal standards, I don't care.
You nasty man. You don't go after women. You leave women alone. You angry, nasty man. And your ego.
Look, it's, you know, it's kind of a you problem if everyone is, you know, telling you to stay away from women. Like, why do you think that is? If everyone is telling you as a man to stay away from women, what does that say about you? What does that say about you as a man? Okay? Before I transitioned, I never had this issue. No one was ever telling me to stay away from women. Why? Because I didn't fucking scare all the hoes away. Okay? It was very simple.
Never underestimate the female ego, because it is dangerous. It is vindictive.
It's dangerous.
It is volatile.
Volatile.
It's emotionally driven.
Right. Men are never emotionally driven. When they scream and rage and punch holes in doors, you know, that's purely rational. But women, women are so emotional. They're always crying about shit that doesn't matter, and, you know, using their insane manipulation tactics. You know, it's really fucked up.
When emotions are the primary reason for acting or doing things, well, then some really terrible things are going to be happening.
Right. Right. As opposed to you, a perfectly rational actor.
Men think logically, women think emotionally.
Yeah, so true. It's an essential property of womanhood, is thinking irrationally.
And
yeah, boys rule, girls drool. Yeah, it's literally that. It's literally boys rule, girls drool mentality. But, like, he's 40 years old. So, yeah. You
can see that in Minnesota. You can see the way that they behave and the way that they act. These women are acting like children. They're like kids. I mean...
Dude, who are these women? What are we talking about? There's some, like, nebulous group you've came up with in your head.
Renee's quote-unquote wife was just like, I can't believe you use...
What do you mean quote-unquote wife? You mean their wife? What are we talking about?
Real bullets. It's like, yeah, we're not playing a game here. This is real life.
This is real life. We're not playing a game here. He says while dressed as the fucking jonkler. Dude, I can't take him seriously.
I know that Renee was dancing to the sound of her...
It's like he's trying so hard to be edgy. You realize that goth people don't try to be edgy. They just are. It comes naturally to them. Right? Again, I wouldn't call myself goth, but I'm more goth than this guy. Because me being edgy, I mean, that's just kind of who I am. Right? I'm just naturally a fucking shit stir, okay? I naturally like to be the one stirring the shit. I like to stir the pot. I like to make people mad. Whereas this guy has a carefully crafted image of himself and how he wants people to perceive him. He cares how he's perceived. He's very, very insecure. And I can be insecure too, but I'm open about it. And at the end of the day, for most things, for most facets of my life, I don't give a fuck. I just don't care.
Her own car horn like a child playing a game in the playground, but you're fucking with things that are far beyond anything you have considered.
Right.
These are
like
real
what?
bullets. These are real criminals that they're deporting from the country. These are all real...
They're real criminals. What about the, I don't know, the soccer mom that was shot by the ICE agent? Or the other guy that was, you know, also an American citizen that was shot by an ICE agent for literally no fucking reason at all. Just ignore that, I guess. It was in self-defense. You know, the ICE officer was defending himself from the car that was driving away from him at 2 miles an hour, actually. So that's why he tried his best to step almost in front of the car, and shoot her. Is because he was in danger, of course.
Situations where these silly, idiotic, infantile women should be nowhere near. Is it unfortunate that Renee was killed?
Infantilizing women, classic misogynist move.
Yes, of course it is. This is bad. I don't want people dying. I didn't know Renee.
Wow, that's good news.
Personally, I don't really care. I know Nick Fuentes has far more bold words to say about her being killed, but look, I'm not going to go there.
Why not? Aren't you like a nonconformist? If you agree with Nick Fuentes, then you agree with Nick Fuentes. Just fucking own it. Don't be a fucking pussy. Seems like you're conforming.
If it was up to me, she would have been at home, where she was.
Okay.
Actually, before she decided to drive to the ICE raid and obstruct justice. Did those
How was she obstructing justice? What was she doing that was wrong? What was she doing that warranted her being murdered?
riots happen? Has there been riots? Has there been crazy riots?
Oh, you're not going to state a position on it because you're a pussy. You're a pussy. You only like the aesthetic of contrarianism, but you won't take the actually far-right positions. So those would actually, get you some flack. Even from your own audience, potentially. So just stay with, the regular conservative positions, I guess. The ones that you won't get flack for. Yo, thank you, Bacon Cheese Zombie, for the 666. Very much appreciated. Very based.
I wonder, liberals, leftists out there, if you are watching this.
Hello, that would be me. I love socialism. Socialism is cool.
Is this another George Floyd movement? Was it equal?
No, this is actually worse than what happened with George Floyd. This is actually arguably way the fuck worse. Right? Because now what we're talking about is not just somebody, not just some random person being murdered and then a police officer going to prison for it. Okay? What this is this is an ICE officer shooting an innocent woman for exercising her First Amendment right and not being held accountable for it. There is a distinction. It is 10 times worse because now there's zero accountability and it's for political reasons. It's politically motivated by the right.
Was a black criminal who OD'd the moment he was arrested? Toxicology.
No. You could see the video. He was not able to breathe. I know the whole I can't breathe thing is a meme. But he could not breathe. Could it perhaps have something to do with the fact that, I don't know, Derek Chauvin was obstructing all of his airways? I'm sure it had nothing to do with that. It's just a coincidence. It's a coinky-dink. You know what? If George Floyd died from fentanyl overdose, then so did Charlie Kirk. He just had so much fentanyl in his neck area that it just fucking spontaneously combusted. It just did that.
Reports corroborate with this. That's true. He did. He can't breathe because of the fent, George.
Yeah, that's why Charlie Kirk couldn't breathe. It's just because of the fent. It's the fentanyl.
Because of the fent.
Yes, it's the fentanyl, not, all of his airways being obstructed by a police officer's knee. No, it has nothing to do with that. Just don't watch the video, though. Don't watch the video, because it might make it a little obvious.
This mother of 3 or 1, because I hear 2 got taken away. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't seen any proof of this, so I'm not going to really, go to town with that. Do the left care as equally? Have we seen entire towns burn down? Is anything on fire like Black Lives Matter? Is she in a gold casket?
Is that what you want? Do you want us to start setting things on fire? I mean, hey, you're the one asking for it, not this time. I mean, I'm just saying. It's like you can't win. You can't win. If we were doing that, then you'd be like, oh, the left is so violent, boo-hoo. And then if we don't do that, you're not angry enough. You just don't care because they're not black. Well, which one is it? And I think that the reason that it's not getting as much coverage as George Floyd is because A, it's being swept under the rug, and B, political violence has been normalized. So because political violence has been normalized and because the current administration wants to sweep it under the rug as much as possible, not as many people are talking about it. Just saying. Might want to take that into consideration.
With little cuck boys, little liberal cuck boy crying on one knee at the altar as a performance. Do we have
Dog, what are we talking about?
any of this? No, because they don't value white lives as much.
No, it's because political violence has been normalized. It's exhausting. I don't talk about politics anymore, not because it's less important or because I care less, but because it's fucking exhausting. You know, when it was just like a once in a while event that was big, like, oh shit, this innocent man got murdered by a fucking police officer, you know, who acted as the judge, jury, and executioner, right? And the reason I say innocent, you know, you could say, oh, but he has a criminal record. Well, in terms of what he was being arrested for, he was innocent because innocent until proven guilty is the legal standard in America. So he was innocent. The Derek Chauvin decided it would be best to act as judge, jury, and executioner. That's what he did, right? And rightfully, people were outraged. That was a big thing at the time. If something like that happened today, no one would care. You want to know why no one would care? Because this shit has been normalized. Nobody cares anymore. We have been so desensitized to horrible shit happening because it happens all the time. It's like, oh, another school shooting. Whoop-de-doo. Who cares? I'm moving on with my life because it happens frequently. Oh, whoop-de-doo. What do you know? Another innocent person fucking murdered by ICE. Oh, what do you know? Insert bad thing here. Like, it becomes numb. It becomes numb to me. And I think everybody else probably feels a similar way, where they become numb to it. You don't feel anything after a while. It's like, that's just the status quo. The status quo is political violence. The status quo, yeah, unless it's a conservative podcaster, in which case, oh, big fucking uproar. Oh no, Charlie Kirk, he was such a good man. Even though he said that if his own daughter got raped at the age of 9, that he would force her to have the rape baby. Or that he's in favor of banning gender-affirming care nationally, including for adults, meaning that I would be forced to detransition. Or, you know, the fact that he said that the civil rights movement was a mistake. Yeah, he said that. He said, and I quote, "The Civil Rights Act was a mistake. But we should be grieving for him, but not the innocent woman that was murdered by ICE. Because it was self-defense, even though she was driving away at 2 miles an hour."
They're despicable. I'll read some notes I have here. Why does Goth attract so many liberal women? Because it is a culture now revolving around female dominance and admiration.
I mean, female dominance, I mean, when you put it like that, that sounds hot. Like, are you trying to convince me to be against this? Female dominance, dominant women? Dude. Next thing you're gonna be like, oh, and they even make their significant others call them mommy. Oh no! Oh, the horror! Sign me the fuck up. There was a school shooting the same day that Kirk got capped, but nobody talks about that. Yup, exactly. Exactly, because it's all manufactured bullshit. That's what it is. They want to hyperfixate on whatever is convenient for their narratives. And for them, Charlie Kirk dying was a lot more convenient for their narrative than a school shooting happening. So, yeah. But if there's a school shooting where the school shooter just so happens to be trans, all over the news. Most important thing, we must talk about this. Trans people must answer for this random fucking shitter that decided to shoot a bunch of people. Because I guess we're collectively responsible for the actions of every single trans person. There's no consistent standards. None.
Dommy mommies, goth girlfriend fetishes feed their egos.
Dude, that's so fucking hot. Dude, I love dommy mommies. Oh, they're my favorite.
While simultaneously utilizing the subculture.
Also, there's a lot of submissive goth women. Like, what are we talking about? Like, there's submissive ones, there's dominant ones, and they're all hot, but the dominant ones, oh, chef's kiss.
Culture for finance.
Yeah, they didn't address the fact that the school shooter was a conservative hate monger. The fact that they were a Russia supporter, you know. They were literally one of the Z motherfuckers.
Financial gain by fetishizing the aesthetic for their OnlyFans. The dark triad of personality traits affects women.
That's not what the dark triad means. Dark triad is not when OnlyFans. That's not what that means.
Horribly. This is true. There wasn't really this goth dommy mommy culture prevalent within goth until relatively recently.
Hey, I'm not complaining though. I'm not complaining. Hey, goth dommy mommies, if you're watching this, let me know, okay? If there's any goth dommy mommies watching this, say something in chat. Join the Discord. You know it.
This is quite nice. This is quite alluring. If you're a liberal leftist woman who's being affected by the dark triad. Narcissism.
Yeah, how are you diagnosing this? You're not a medical professional. You're just saying, oh yeah, you do OnlyFans, so that means you have narcissism. Like, what are we talking about? That's not the diagnostic criteria.
Ego.
Like, if it was that simple, then, you know, psychologists wouldn't exist.
If you're being affected by these things, then the dominance that women have within Goth is quite alluring, isn't it? It's quite intriguing. What do you mean, dommy mommy men just throw money at you? Step on me, queen.
So you're describing Findom. Not my thing personally. I'm more into, you know, just being dominated because they enjoy it. But, you know, to each their own.
That sounds nice. What do you mean all I have to do is just parrot leftist talking points and I get likes?
I mean, yeah, some people do that, but some people do it in the opposite direction too. Look, there's always going to be grifters on both sides, and that's sort of a fact, right? That's just kind of a fact. There's always going to be conservative grifters. There's always going to be some proportion of liberal / left-wing grifters. I think that goes without saying.
And admiration and shares.
But what's interesting is I've never at any point said that the reason everyone is conservative that's conservative is because they're a grifter, right? I've never made that claim. I will call grifters out when I see them, when I'm like, yeah, this person is most likely grifting, right? They most likely don't actually care that much about any of the things that they're saying, and I will call them out for that. But I don't even think that I wouldn't even make the statement that there's, you know, that many more I mean, I would say there's probably more conservative grifters than liberal grifters. It seems to be more financially lucrative, but there is grifters on both sides. I'm not going to pretend like that's not the case. But at no point have I said that conservatism is wrong because there are conservative grifters, right? They could be genuine in their beliefs and they would be just as wrong. I think that goes without saying.
So you're telling me I get money, I get adored, I'm seen as superior. There's no downside because there's no men to call us out?
Call them out for what? What are they doing that's causing objective or measurable harm?
For?
You're talking about what, Findoms? Yeah, okay. Well, let's see here. Who's involved? Okay, so we've got the Findom, the goth mommy dommy that accepts money to, you know, step on submissive men. And then you've got the submissive men who really enjoy that. What's the problem? I'm confused. Is there a problem with that?
Damn, that sounds like 4 very good points for yet more women to get into Goth. Men are gone, they're not there, and the ones that are there are sneaky fuckers. Sneaky fuckers, it's a real thing.
The term sneaky fuckers was coined by an evolutionary biologist, John Maynard Smith, to describe subordinate males who take advantage of the opportunity to mate with females while dominant males are otherwise occupied, leading to their reproductive success. Bro, who cares? Dude, oh no. Purple pill debate. r/purple pill debate. He's actually citing this. Most blue pill men are just sneaky fuckers practicing sexual mimicry. Sneaky fucker was a term coined by blah, blah, blah. Who fuck? Now it's coined by somebody else. Now it's coined by John Krebs. Is it John Smith or John Krebs? Which one is it? To identify males who imitate females in order to get closer to females for sex. Bro, who cares? If it works, it works. Usually the male is weak, more diminutive, and cannot actually contest with other males. Bro, who cares?
It's a zoological term.
Yeah, dude, femboy. Bro, these are just people that are mad that femboys get bitches while they don't. This is how they cope with that fact. This is how they cope with the fact that hot, dominant goth mommy dommies are way more into femboys than they would ever be into them.
The sneaky fuck. You ever wonder why men are liberal? It's the sneaky fuck. It's beta bitches bypassing any competition with masculine men by adopting certain traits that the female would like in order to...
See, and I never did this. I moved towards leftism because it's correct. You'll even notice, like, before I transitioned, right, I was slowly moving to the left. It wasn't inauthentic, right? It was me slowly becoming more political. But you'll notice, even in my old content on my old YouTube channel, right, I might have been you know, slightly conservative when I was like 13. I think I made like one like conservative leaning video, but it wasn't even that conservative. It was like kind of centrist. It was really centristy. And then over time, it becomes more leftist in nature. Like anytime I gave my opinions on something, it would be, you know, either drama related or, you know, kind of leftist. Like I remember when I would have been like 15 or 16 maybe. No, I think I would have been 15 when I made a video, which was actually also a project for one of my classes where we were talking about, you know, current events. And I was actually pretty liberal by then. And I didn't even realize it. I thought I was a centrist because I was very economically conservative at the time, but I was like socially liberal. I called myself a libertarian. But I was actually quite liberal, interestingly enough. But I wasn't doing it because I wasn't really thinking about, you know, trying to attract people. You know, I wasn't thinking like, how do I attract people? I was thinking like, what's correct? You know, if I wanted to attract more people, I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't have gone on a whole arc where it's like, yeah, I think saying slurs is based. Yeah, that was a whole arc on this YouTube channel. You know, it was like a couple of years ago. I was like, and you know, I don't necessarily disagree with it. You know, if you just, you know, it depends on the context. You know, if you just say the N-word in a room by yourself where nobody can hear it, I don't think that that's an immoral action. Fucking sue me. Hell, if you're reading something out loud or quoting somebody, right? And you're not necessarily endorsing it, and you read out a slur, I don't have a problem with that. Right? If I wanted to gain as much approval as possible, then, you know, I wouldn't make jokes about rape. I wouldn't make jokes about Hitler and, you know, Jews and black people and Indians and white people as well to piss everybody off. Right? But I'm a shit stirrer. The reason I'm a leftist is not for aesthetic reasons. I don't meet any of the aesthetic requirements, aside from the fact that I just so happen to be trans and visibly queer. Those are the only aesthetic requirements that I meet, though. In terms of my actual aesthetic requirements, that's it. I don't meet anything else.
Mate, something like that. I'm just reading off the top of my head. It was here, right? You read this. So I don't call them liberal men anymore. I just call them sneaky or facts, actually. There's also studies out there.
You fit the requirements? Really? I fit the requirements of aesthetic leftism. You have not watched my content at all if you think that. So you're a leftist because you're shit stirring? Nope. Those have no relation to each other, which is the point that I was making, and you were not paying attention. Whether or not you're a leftist has nothing to do with whether or not you like to shit stir. I like to shit stir independent of my politics. And that's why I say things that piss people off everywhere on both sides, but not in the, you know, obnoxious, oh, both sides are bad. Why don't we meet in the middle and resolve our differences? Bullshit kind of centrist way. Okay, it's I'm a leftist, but I also think that people need to not be fucking sensitive pussies kind of way. Okay? I'm not a class reductionist by any means. I've had a few people describe me as that. I'm not a class reductionist. I do believe intersectionality does play a role. But I do believe that class is the ultimate deciding factor as to how successful you are in life, as to how society treats you, as to how much power you have.
That suggests lower testosterone makes you left-wing, which then also makes you more likely to lie. It's another graph.
That's okay.
Here, it's another study.
Right. Are we going to read the study? Testosterone administration reduces lying in men. Yeah, it also increases fucking roid rage. It also makes them angrier. It's like, yeah, are they capable of lying when they're in a fucking fit of rage? Yeah, probably not. Because they have low impulse control. Right? Lying requires impulse control. If you don't have impulse control, you're going to be a shit liar. So, yeah, obviously if you administer testosterone, which at higher quantities reduces your impulse control, yeah, you're going to be worse at lying, so you're going to do it less. No shit.
Should have a look at this. These are the men that these women hang around with, beta cuck men, and their reference for men, which is why they hate them. This is goth women's reference for men.
That's not how that works.
This is the men that they know. It's the subservient men. It's the, oh my god, step on me.
But those are the men that they like. It's men like you that they dislike.
Mommy, here's more money for your OnlyFans. Don't tell my
Yeah, I don't see what the problem with that is.
wife. I won't pay pig. As the decades have gone on, women now comprise the majority of the subculture, or at the very least, a higher amount of control than they did in the past.
Yeah, and I would attribute this to, you know, the patriarchy. And what I mean by that is because men and women are both expected to be a certain way, men are shamed if they are perceived as more feminine or androgynous. You'll notice that there are many instances of this. In any type of subculture, you will see this. For example, Exhibit A. I think my point is very obvious. Because even this guy is doing that.
As per usual, when women gain control of something, it turns to an ego-driven, jealousy-coded dictatorship of virtue signaling, control, gatekeeping, and censorship.
Yeah, this just seems like Twitter lefties. It's like, yeah, get off fucking Twitter. Like, what are we doing? Yeah, if you're on Twitter, yeah, that's what a lot of quote-unquote lefties are like. Go anywhere in the real world? Not so much. Okay, if you want to see what, you know, actual leftists are like, you can watch my content. You can watch I think President Sunday is a much better example of a leftist. He's a way better leftist than I am. I'm kind of a shit leftist because I focus mainly on the entertainment aspect of things. It's not that I don't care about politics as much. It's more just I don't focus on it as much with my content. Go watch President Sunday if you want to see what actual leftist analysis looks like. Okay, I heavily recommend him for anyone that's interested in politics and wants to see, you know, what are the positions of somebody that agrees with me on most things. You'll come to find that he's very good. He's very good and he's not preachy. He's not virtue signaling. I think he might have been at one point, like, you know, maybe 5 years ago or something. President Sunday is based, but I haven't seen much from him in a while. That's because he switched channels because his main channel got demonetized. So search President Sunday and you'll find his channel, President Sunday Prime, I think it is. The @ will be President Sunday too, as one word. The algorithm does not promote him at all, so you're gonna have to actively seek out his content, which is really unfortunate because I really like the work that he does. I think he's awesome.
They will parrot
He's way smarter than me.
the same things over and over again. Goth is political. You can't be conservative in Goth. You can't be
Yeah, wait, that's true though.
right-wing in Goth. Goth is
Yeah, that's true.
political. They keep saying these things over and over again without
Yeah, but Goth objectively is political. Like, what are we talking about? Conservatism is necessarily a rejection of anything that deviates from the norm. So, yeah. Now, if you're a reactionary, then you might also deviate from the norm in your own way, in a bad way, in a way that makes society even worse. But if you're a conservative, you're not deviating from the norm at all. You are the establishment at that point. So, yeah, if you're part of the establishment, then, yeah, you're not really goth spiritually.
actually understanding what they mean. They know that if they say them, they get likes. They get accepted into the herd. They get a sense of culture and community.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about, like, normie TikTok goths, yeah, most of them probably, at least culturally, aren't goth either. I'd be willing to say that, right? But, yeah, no, if we're talking about what it means to be goth, in terms of who you are as a person, you are not it. Maybe you got the look, I guess you got the look down. You know, you've got, like, a fairly niche look. I mean, it's very Joker-esque, so maybe it's just, I don't know.
Which is why they keep saying
You got the tattoos.
it, but they don't understand it. They don't understand.
Kyle Klinsky also has good takes, but he's preachy and tends to exaggerate. Yeah, and that's why I recommended President Sunday. I always prefer President Sunday. He just says it how it is, you know? He's just like that.
There's been a bunch of people making videos of me over the last couple of months. All these girls, they keep making the same mistakes. Because of course they do. They keep misunderstanding what I'm saying. Further proving this tweet of the f***ing year.
Let's see, millennial woes. It's amazing how much leftist discourse is just them pretending to not understand things, thus making discourse impossible. I don't think that's just leftist discourse, though. This is This is all across the board. This is just people being bad at communication. Like, yeah, it could be the case that they misinterpret things, but like, are you saying in a way that is easily misinterpretable? If so, then like, yeah, people are probably going to misinterpret what you're saying. This goes both ways.
They keep making the same mistakes over and over again.
So I hate to break it to you, but communication is a two-way street, my friend.
To try and justify their points, they have to purposefully misunderstand what I'm saying.
No, I understand what you're saying perfectly, and I understand that it is wrong.
They have to be obtuse. They have to be dull. But they don't have to be smart because they're in an echo chamber. And this echo chamber is very, very interested in
if I wanted to be in an echo chamber, I wouldn't stream to YouTube Shorts.
Maintaining a narrative where they have control at all times. You type in goth in Instagram search or TikTok.
I thought goths were anti-stereotype. Precisely. That's why you can't be conservative and goth. Conservative ideology is entirely predicated upon things like stereotypes, judgments of people that deviate from the norm. It's in favor of tradition. Right? Conservatism is inherently a judgmental ideology, which completely contradicts what being goth actually means. That make sense?
Search, it's women, it's all girls, dancing and performing for each other so that they can fit within the collective. Look at us. Look at me. I'm doing the trend that you all did. I'm saying the same things you all did. I'm part of you guys. If you were really goth,
yeah, what you're describing is other people that are just as fake goth as you.
You wouldn't be interested in spending time around other goths. I can't think of any.
Goths aren't anti-stereotype. You really know nothing of our people. Okay, dude. Our people. Dude, you're talking about it like it's like, yeah, free our people. Like it's in the fucking Bible or some shit. Free. Our people must be freed.
Anything worse than spending time with a group of goths. Goth was made as a counterculture to the post-war, post-industrial age in the UK.
Yeah, and you're not countercultural. You're just a conservative grifter with a slightly different aesthetic.
Okay, something artistic and eloquent, something experimental and chaotic. Well, now we're living in a post-degeneracy.
But what you're doing isn't experimental, it's not chaotic. You're not doing anything experimental. What you're doing is you're basically preaching 2-year-old conservative talking points. That's what you're doing. You're preaching outdated conservative talking points. That's not counterculture. It's just dumb.
Post-woke world, and it's time for goth to adapt. To remain a counterculture, you must remain counter to the culture, as exhaustively researched by this sex and culture book that I read.
Okay, wouldn't it also depend on what the culture is? Because like, what if the culture shapes into what goth people have as their culture? Like, what if there's like a culture of people that are countercultural, and then their culture becomes the norm? Do they just do the opposite of that culture and go back to the previous culture? That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Read here, really great read. I'm only about halfway through it, but really you should read this. Okay, this book is incredible.
Okay.
Absolutely amazing. I believe it was written in like 1938 or something like that. It's quite old.
Wow.
We've squandered too much of the equity the conservative government had created. Or men, I guess. Now is the time for goth to be conservative of Western values when evil forces from all angles.
Right. Yeah, dude. Yeah, goth was all about maintaining traditions and not breaking norms. Yeah, dude. That's what it was always about. Yeah, dude. I'm sure that if you know, goth people from the 1960s and 1970s heard you, they'd be very appreciative hearing that. Yeah, dude. We want our aesthetic to be used for traditional values, dude. Yeah, dude. We want it to be used to bring back Christianity and traditional values and none of this woke nonsense. Yep, that's so true.
Are fixated on trying to destroy it. We should not be welcoming in more people who do not have our nation's best interest to heart. At the end of the day,
Wasn't the whole point of being goth that you're an outcast, and now you're saying that, like, oh, you shouldn't welcome these people, they're the outcasts. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Immigrants benefit the economy, by the way. This has been statistically proven.
Goth was created within this nation of the UK. It was created here under British ideals.
And why are those ideals necessarily correct?
British musicians.
Yeah, why is that good or bad?
British inspirations. Goth was made as a privilege provided by England. Why would we want to celebrate the downfall of this? Why would we...
What? This is probably the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Let's go back.
Goth was made... British inspirations. Goth was made as a privilege provided by England. Why would...
No. Goth culture was made in spite of the status quo, not because of it. What are we talking about? Being goth was never a privilege granted by the higher-ups, by the people at the top of society. No, it was in spite of the people at the top of society. This is what I mean when I say this guy is a dumb fuck, conservative, conformist cuck. Just because you have a slightly edgy aesthetic doesn't make you not those things. Femyoz goth turn when? Never. The reason? Because A, goth has been very much so popularized, it's very mainstream. Okay? So, if anything, I would identify more with, older subculture, like the subculture, the goth subculture when it first arose. And B, I wouldn't be classified as goth anyway. I don't listen to the music. I just like the aesthetic. So maybe I'll play with the goth aesthetic, but I as a person would never be goth. Alt, yes. Very much so alt. But I'm already kind of alt, I've never wanted to be super mainstream looking. But anyways, let's continue. He's just a poser making up his own completely antithetical goth etymology. No, literally.
We want to celebrate the downfall of this. Why would we want to welcome in the destruction of the nation that allowed this...
But the nation isn't being destroyed.
...to even happen? Why do you think goth happened here in the first place in the West? Because we have...
Oh, I'm sure it was to conserve tradition.
...have the privilege to do it. This globalist... It is not...
Global... What does this have to do with globalism? You're just saying words. You're just saying right-wing buzzwords. You're so bad at it.
...conducive to subcultures continuing. It's not. You allow a...
What do you think that the original goth people that came into existence, what do you think they were fighting against? What do you think it was they were fighting against? Was it the voices inside of their head, or was it mainstream society? If they were fighting against mainstream society and the status quo, what does that say? Well, what that says is that no, it wasn't that society allowed for them to exist, it's that they existed in spite of mainstream society, despite the fact that it was not easy for them to exist.
Or an alien...
Want to know the real reason I'd never be goth? Because goth is mainstream. It's not even goth anymore. There's no such thing as goth. It doesn't exist. Goth is just an aesthetic now. If we're talking about what actually goth means, dressing up as a goth person is not going to get you the amount of ridicule, the amount of societal shame and ostracization that it used to. And it's not tied to any political ideology or movement anymore. It's meaningless. It doesn't mean anything. So, if we're talking about what it means to be goth, at this point, it doesn't mean anything.
Culture to come in.
It's just an aesthetic now. It's been watered down.
And exert their own version of control, which does not have...
Which again, I think that's fine, because at the end of the day, being countercultural doesn't require a label. The whole point is that we're defying labels. We don't have to be goth to be countercultural. At the end of the day, a lot of countercultural things and aesthetics become mainstream, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's okay for it to get watered down because people that are genuinely counterculture will find something new. Or not. You know, it depends on what they want. They could just be like, well, I really like this aesthetic, and but I'm still gonna, you know, have this aesthetic, but you know, culturally I'm the same. You know, I'll let these people enjoy this aesthetic because they think it looks cool. And yeah.
Separation of church and state. They don't have that. The church is the state.
But it shouldn't be.
For them. Talking about our good friends.
Huh? Wait. For who? We're talking about conservatives or left-wingers. Left-wingers are generally very, very secular.
And exert their own version of control, which does not have separation of church and state. They don't.
Who is they? What are we talking about? Are we talking about the Jews?
Have that. The church is the state.
Yeah, and maybe your ideal world.
For them. Talking about our good friends, the Muslims. Here. Goth didn't.
What? What are we talking about? You do realize that most actual leftists are not Muslim, right? Now, they might be saying, like, well, I don't think that people should be deported for being Muslim because that would, you know, be an infringement upon the First Amendment, which is, you know, freedom of religion. You know, that's like a whole part of it. You know, that's the part of freedom of speech is freedom of religion. But what you'll notice with leftists like me, you know, people that don't, you know, skinwalk, people that aren't, you know, just leftists as an aesthetic, you know, I will just straight up say that Islam is just as retarded as Christianity. The Prophet Muhammad is a pedophile that raped a 9-year-old. It is just as disgusting as how, I don't know, say for instance, how Christianity endorses slavery or says that if a woman or girl, if she gets raped and she is single, basically, she is forced to marry her rapist as a quote unquote punishment to the rapist. Yeah, that's in the Bible. Deuteronomy 22, 28, 29. If you're wondering. I wouldn't have a specific Quran verse. I don't know. Do they have Quran verses? I'm not sure. I haven't read the Quran, so I don't know which part of the Quran says that, you know, is the part where Muhammad is a pedophile. But I looked into it. It's there. A lot of Muslims will acknowledge it's there. So, yeah. It's like this like weird mentality of oh, leftists are too afraid to say what they think. Like, these are old talking points. Dark woke is in right now. I've been dark woke for the entire duration of this YouTube channel, for the record. But it's actually kind of in. People are sort of copying my aesthetic a little bit, and it's interesting. But I don't take offense to it, though. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing that more people are like me. Women are not allowed to make public statements regarding religion. They must ask their husbands. Look, I've always been of the position for the longest time. Not always, because obviously when I was a kid, I was religious. And then in middle school, I realized it was a bunch of horse shit. You know, I think that all religion is retarded. It's all a control mechanism used to control the masses. That's what it is. Why do you think they use fear-mongering tactics like, oh, you're going to go to hell if you don't believe in this shit? There's a reason for that. What is dark woke? It's like woke, but you're edgy. You're not afraid to say what you think, right? I'm not afraid of, oh no, somebody might call me Islamophobic if I say that, yeah, the Prophet Muhammad is a pedophile and Islam is fucking stupid. I'm not afraid to say shit like that. Yeah, some people will get mad. I don't care. Or if I say, yeah, I think that most Islamic countries are fucking shitholes where women don't have rights and gay people are treated like fucking shit, right? Yeah, there's gonna be takes like that I have where, yeah, some people on the quote unquote left will get mad at that, but the true leftist position is that religion is fucking stupid. Okay, that's the real leftist position.
Start there. In fact, I don't know any subculture that has left the Middle East that did. We are privileged enough to have been given the opportunity to rebel, to have Goth, to have the sub.
Really? Okay. So what are they rebelling against? What are we rebelling against again? Because you're saying not to rebel. Essentially. don't rebel against, the thing that gave you the opportunity. Well, it may have given us some opportunities, but it also strips away others.
Culture. So anything but a nationalist goth is wrong.
Yeah, okay, dude. Yeah, if you believe that, whether or not you warrant moral consideration isn't determined by arbitrarily defined borders, then you're not really goth. Really awesome point, man. Really good stuff.
It's incorrect. I respect other nations, but not when their nation is trying to take mine.
Nobody is trying to take your nation. You do realize that A, immigrants benefit the economy, and B, when it comes to LGBTQ plus issues specifically, I believe it's the case that Westernized Muslims are more accepting of queer people on average than evangelicals. I'm just saying. So if we're going to deport all the Muslims, then it's only fair that we would also deport all the evangelicals. And you know what? That would be a fair trade-off for me. I'd be A-okay with that. Yes, get rid of all the evangelicals. Yes, get rid of all the Muslims. I don't care. Get rid of all the religious people. Fine, whatever. Now, granted, I'm not actually in favor of that, but if we're going to be consistent, it would go against free speech, though. That's the reason I'm not in favor of that.
You should be proud of your own nation. You should be a nationalist. You should be proud of your nation.
Why? Why would you be proud of an immutable characteristic? Like, oh, I was born here. Why the fuck would I be proud of that? That doesn't make any sense.
For giving you the privilege to be able to say the dumb shit that you say, or they say, because they're not here watching this.
Unless you're protesting ICE, of course, in which case, ICE officers will, potentially shoot you for no reason. Just saying.
Once Western culture dies, goth goes with it.
Yeah, deport all the evangelical Zionists to Israel.
You understand this? You understand this. But the reason why they hate me so much is because I'm the one man who doesn't simp. It's not attractive to me. I'm the one man who doesn't simp.
Yeah, the one man that doesn't simp. So
and
true.
let them get away with everything. And
get away with what exactly?
Perpetuate the sense of dominance that they have. I don't stroke their egos. I don't inflate their already inflated sense of self-worth.
No, instead you inflate your own sense of self-worth because you have a fragile ego.
In fact, I call them
you just do the same thing, but in the opposite direction. You do it inwards instead of outwards.
Stupid. I call them idiots and I call them narcissists.
You can say retard. You don't have to censor it.
Because they are. People have gotten far too comfortable calling.
Right. Have they been diagnosed with narcissism? Like, did they get diagnosed by a medical professional with narcissistic personality disorder? If not, then why are you calling them that?
Men narcissists. Fun fact, women are also narcissists. In fact,
whoa, did you know that anyone of any gender can be a narcissist? Holy shit. Gender equality at its finest. Who would have guessed?
More likely, a liberal woman or a leftist woman.
Where are you getting this from?
Is more likely to be a narcissist.
Than a conservative woman? I don't think that's true.
And there's also almost exclusively leftist women within goth. So there's an even
what does that say about goth?
Higher percentage still of these women that are narcissists.
Yeah, well, okay, where are you getting the info that leftism equals narcissism? Because earlier in the video, what you showed off was a study that showed that, was it that liberal women have slightly worse behavior on average than liberal men? It could be because they're liberal for different reasons. A lot of women are going to be liberal simply because they want bodily autonomy. Some of them are just going to be one-issue voters and they're conservative on everything else. Right? That could, like, we're dealing with multiple confounding variables here. And you're talking about, like, what, one screenshot from a study? Give me a break, dude. Also, correlation does not equal causation. So, correlation, causation, fallacy. And even if we do that, what political ideologies are correlated with narcissism? Let's see. Let's read the AI slop. Narcissism is associated with both ends of the political spectrum. Yeah, I feel like that goes without saying, but different but through different drivers. Entitlement-based narcissism correlates with conservatism, while exhibitionism-based narcissism correlates with liberalism. Interesting. Overall, higher levels of narcissism, especially national collective narcissism, are strongly linked to populism, right-wing, authoritarianism, and conspiracy beliefs. Interesting, interesting. Who does that describe? What's this? University of San Diego? Okay. How long is this? If it's long, I'm not reading it. Yeah, I'm not reading all that. Okay, let's see. Yeah, Republicans are slightly higher in terms of entitlement than Democrats. Again, like, this is just going to be correlation. So, yeah. Slightly higher for exhibitionism for Democrats. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I feel like it goes without saying that, like, I mean, there's just, like, correlation. And it goes in both directions. So, it doesn't really mean anything.
Next time you watch any of these girls, right? Any of these goth chicks that you see on the internet.
Any of them. Yes, judge them as a collective. They're not individual people, of
who
course.
like to present, oh, cutesy.
Heaven
pitch
forbid.
their voices up a couple of octaves. By the way, next time you watch them, I want you to...
Are you thinking of goth girls or VTubers? Because a lot of goth girls play into the fact that, like, they're more dominant or whatever. So they actually have a deeper voice. Like, they...
See if you can spot a couple of...
It's funny how the side that coined the phrase, facts don't care about your feelings, never fact checks and makes arguments appealing to bigotry and emotions. Yeah, I could have sworn that conservatives used to be way more rational. Like, in 2016, it felt like conservatives were rational. Now, maybe I was less rational at the time. But, like, I found myself being, like, kind of a centrist. Maybe even slightly conservative leaning in my very early teen years. Just because I was like, well, yeah, I agree with whatever is logical. But, like, that never changed. I genuinely took... This is going to sound retarded, but, like... You know, I genuinely took facts don't care about your feelings to heart. You know, I listened to Ben Shapiro. I took that to heart. And then I became a liberal because of it. Which is kind of funny how that works.
Symptoms of narcissism, or even just the dark triad in general. See if you can spot it in there. I bet you can. I bet you'll never be able to watch them the same way again.
Yeah, I bet that if you look for this thing hard enough, then you could see it in anybody. Whoa, holy shit. It's almost like that's, you know, a thing called confirmation bias that exists.
I'm just going to read this last paragraph that I have written here. Look how much I care about everything, says the leftist egomaniac. Look at me. Aren't I nice? I'm inclusive.
I mean, I don't know, dude. I see a lot of leftists that are more similar to me. They're just not as loud and rambunctious, I guess. You know, people like me, I mean, obviously I'm kind of loud, but, you know, the people that have, like, the similar sort of aesthetic qualities that I do are generally, you know, less visible. They're less seen, right? Because they're less annoying, I guess, is a way of putting it. Like, at the end of the day, no, I actually present myself as kind of an asshole. That's sort of my gimmick. No, I'm a leftist and I'm an asshole and I'm edgy and I'm proud of it, okay?
And understanding and morally pure. I'm so good. These women, much like with Western culture...
No, I don't claim to be morally pure. I'm like a fucking asshole. I make fun of people on the internet.
...itself will sacrifice anything they can to something that has nothing to do with them, that doesn't care about them, in order to look good and morally superior. They're doing this with Goth. They're doing this with Western...
Loud, you are a church mouse. You aren't loud. Okay, well, I'm obviously not loud to you because, like, of audio balancing. I would say I'm projecting my voice more than the guy we're reacting to. That's the beauty of audio balancing.
Civilization.
But yeah, in terms of me projecting my voice, it's actually quite annoying, right? And that's why I project it less when it's, like, super late at night, because people are sleeping. And I don't want to wake them up, because I have a very, very loud voice. Believe me, I know because I've been told that I have a loud voice.
Doing this with their kids. They're doing this with the safety of women, actually.
We're doing what?
Advocating for those that are quite high in the overrepresentation of crime statistics against women. So it doesn't really make any sense.
You mean poor people? Or are you talking about black people? You do realize that the reason that black people commit more crimes statistically, proportionally speaking, is because they're poorer on average. Why are they poorer on average? Because of redlining policies that existed in the past. Right? Meaning that there would be white neighborhoods and black neighborhoods. And guess where all the wealth went? Not in the black neighborhoods. So what does that create? It creates a generational wealth gap. What results from the generational wealth gap? A lot of fucking poor people. What do poor people have in common? They're a lot more desperate. They're going to be more violent. Why? Because they don't have money. Because they got fucked over. Put any white person in the same situation, same outcome. It's ultimately a byproduct of material conditions that we're looking at here. Yeah, it's another example of a causation/correlation fallacy. I see right-wingers that try to present themselves as more rational do this a lot. They make a correlation-causation fallacy, and then they present it as fact. It's like, no. Just because these things are correlated doesn't mean that they're causative. You need to establish a causative link. Right? You can't just ignore confounding variables and then present yourself as logical.
Until you realize that it's not about them. Why are women advocating for things that will, in the long run, actually be more detrimental to them? Why are they doing this?
Like what? What are women advocating for that's detrimental?
Why do they want criminals back out in the street? Why are they? Why?
But they don't want that, though. Who is saying, yeah, I want more criminals back out on the street? Unless we're talking about, like, drug offenses, in which case, yeah, you should be able to do whatever drugs you want. Like, it's like, yeah, the government should not be allowed to say what you are and aren't allowed to put in your own body. Yeah, that goes without saying.
Why are they advocating for this? Why do they always stand up in solidarity for immigrants that molest children?
Yeah, that's so true. And there's so many leftists that are saying, yes, we support the immigrants that molest children. You know, it's a real thing. What are we talking about? If anything, undocumented immigrants, from the studies that I've looked at these on stream before, are statistically less likely to commit violent crimes. Why? Because they don't want to get their asses deported. That's for fucking sure. Okay? Because if obviously if they commit a violent crime, they get caught, good luck. Right?
What is this? That's so unreal. I can't wrap my head around it. I don't understand. I don't understand why are they doing this.
You don't understand a lot of things, do you?
It's because it's not about them. It's not about the criminals.
Rich people commit less, really? No, they just commit different kinds of crimes. Rather than committing violent, low-level crimes, they commit financial crimes. And they get away with it because they pay people off to sweep it under the rug, essentially. So you have a point. Rich people do commit crimes. They're just a little bit more sneaky about it because they have the financial resources to be sneaky about it. So good point. But if we're talking about, the more low-level crimes, just like whether it be gang violence or, just like common thievery, whatever it may be, right? A lot of that breeds out of desperation.
It's not about the illegals. It's about the woman. It's about her and how good she looks doing it.
No, it's really not. Also, illegal immigrants benefit the economy, contrary to popular belief. Right? Keep in mind, illegal immigrants are both consumers and workers. Okay? Now, they do get underpaid a lot. They get completely fucked over by corporations. So what's the solution? Well, make it easier for them to immigrate. Just saying. And if corporations are still hiring them instead of you, even when they're not able to underpay them legally, well, let's just say they're probably just better at the job than you. You're not entitled to that. You're just not. Immigrants pay more into taxes than average Americans. I don't think that's true, but maybe. That sounds wrong. That sounds like it's incorrect. I don't think that they do. Based on the research I've done, no, they don't. Or well, I guess immigrants broadly. I'm thinking of illegal immigrants. I think illegal immigrants pay less on average, if I'm not mistaken. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I'd need to do more research.
That's what it's about.
Yes, rich people do commit heinous crimes. That's why it's something worth holding against rich people. It's not worth, like, if some fucking homeless guy steals your food or, like, you know, a couple bucks or whatever the fuck, right? I don't hold it against them because they're desperate. Like, yeah, it sucks. No, they shouldn't do it. But, like, come on. You can't really blame them. They're desperate. They need to feed their family. If a rich person is stealing, you're already well off. You don't need to do this shit to survive. What are you doing? You just don't care about other people at that point. You're just selfish. There's a distinction. And the worst part is that while these poorer areas are over-policed, rich people, not so much. They get away with everything. And then conservatives like to claim, oh, there's no systemic oppression. There is. It's all class-based. Even race-based discrimination uses class as the primary mechanism through which people are discriminated against. It all boils down to class. Why do you think that Blair White is so willing to throw all other trans people under the bus? It's because she's rich. She doesn't care what happens in America because it doesn't matter for her. She can get whatever she wants. She can get HRT indefinitely. No matter what. Because she has money. She can get any surgery she wants because she has money. It doesn't matter. Just putting it out there. You can get away with anything if you're rich enough. Anything.
How she feels when she stands in front of...
I mean, what do y'all think Epstein's Island was? Well, it was a bunch of rich people getting away with some of the most heinous shit. But it doesn't matter that's illegal, because at the end of the day, nothing's going to be done. Yeah, I guess Epstein eventually got caught. People figured it out. After how long?
The man. And says, actually, leave the brown man alone. Get him, ladies.
I don't think that that's what they say. It sounds like a straw man.
It's a power that they have. Anyway, guys.
It's not a power. But, like, what are we talking about?
Thank you so much for watching this video. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. It was fucking horrendous. I had a great time. Regardless, okay? Anyways. Let's see here. But yeah, anyways. No one's going to talk about, mention the Somalis. What about them? Genghis Khan would make them pay. Thought they all just did math and science on Einstein's Island. Yo, true. Truth nuke. Yeah, he's just making a boogeyman on the left. And being like, yep, that's the left. It's so fucking dumb. Let's see, what do the comments have to say? I'm a nonconformist just like all my friends. I feel like this would describe, like, this guy and, you know, maybe his concern. Well, maybe he doesn't have friends. Smart people use facts. Dumb people use feelings. I agree. But, like, I can't tell if this is somebody agreeing with Jake Munro. This is one of the top comments. Or if it's somebody that agrees with me. Because, like, you know, as a woman, I always hated having female bosses. So manipulative. Holy fucking pick me. What's this person's channel? Do they make any cringe? Are they? No. No, they're not. Okay. They don't have any content. Never mind. Let's continue. As a 40-year-old goth, I stopped dressing up and took out my piercings and stopped wearing certain hairstyles when I started seeing all the things I love becoming the uniform of the liberal left women. So what you're saying is you're a conformist. Just saying. You're just conforming to a different set of expectations. Like, what? Dark Triad sounds like a great brand name. Lee Filt introduced me with a reaction to your video. Bro, who the fuck? We got a red pill goth supervillain in 2026 before GTA 6. Oh, they ruined it. Keep up the good work. I am a woman. I'm 43. I have no female friends. In the past, in the past, and I feel what he is saying so much. They all try to sleep with my husband or get me to sleep with someone else. My generation of women is horrible. I don't know, maybe your generation is because you're like, you know, more than twice my age, but yeah. Anyways. I work in law enforcement. The other day I was relieved by a female officer. I pointed out how here in Virginia, the new female governor is banning firearms while removing mandatory minimum sentencing on crimes like murder, rape, etc. She didn't see why this was an issue. Yeah, and then everyone clapped. Because you were like the hero as well. It's just like, this didn't happen. I'm sorry. You just like made that up for engagement. Quoting 1984, I wish females like myself weren't such outliers. I usually hate this kind of talk because it's always devolves into hating all women and only blaming them, but it's true that there is a majority, a horrifying, shrieking majority. Okay, what's your solution then? Anyways. Who is this guy? I've never seen him until about 12 minutes ago and 6 seconds ago. I'm not a goth dude, but I'm totally into reality and common sense. Bro's speaking my language. Yeah, so this is who he's appealing to. It's like this guy right here, Seth B 4637. He wants to be contrarian and counterculture so bad, but because you know he's a fucking normie and he has no countercultural beliefs, he needs someone to tell him. You know, a guy that looks weird to tell him that you know he is truly countercultural. You know, wearing his fucking ugly ass hat. I guess. That does not go with that suit. Wonderful. Wonderful. Giant ears. Very round, bloated face. Probably a recessed jaw. Yeah. No, I feel bad for that guy. What's your solution? What do you mean, what's my solution? I'm saying it's a made-up problem. Okay. You're going to notice a lot of pick-me women in here. We're not all bad, but good lord, the ones that are so bad it's insane. All right, Caitlin, what's your channel? Oh, no videos. But you're like, yeah, of course, it's all like old boomer women. She's like at least late 30s, probably mid 40s. Yeah, like based on this, looks like she's using makeup and filters to hide her age. We can all see your skin is sagging. Very, very brutal. Very brutal. You know, your philtrum has aged. Your mouth is sagging. Yeah, like this over here. Like look at this little dent here. Yeah, like there's little details like that. Obviously nasolabial folds. It's going to be one of the first things for a lot of people. Yeah. A lot of stuff that like a filter wouldn't be able to necessarily catch. Like you'll see here that she's using a filter, and the reason you know is because one of her nasolabial folds is very prominent, and the other one almost sort of blends in. Right? And it's not like she's smiling on this side. I guess she's grimacing a little bit, like... Well, no, like... I can't even do it. Like... But, like, that shouldn't be enough to make that much of a difference. Yeah. Hi, Femi, I'm back. What are we doing now? Oh, we just watched a, wannabe goth conservative. Oh, what? Would you look at that? Right below that comment is, nation is race and race is nation. And somebody agreeing with him. Glad to see you're cultivating a really cool audience. They are sociopaths. Good luck, gentlemen. Yeah, women are just sociopaths. As a woman, I'm glad men are standing up and calling this out. Men need to lead again. Holy fucking pick me. Oh my god. A liberal man and a liberal woman are further apart politically than a liberal man and a conservative man. Well, that's just not true. That's like a contradiction. Like, that's just a blatant contradiction in terms. What are we talking about? A liberal is something that describes the political ideology. So a liberal woman and a liberal man are people that have similar political ideologies. Now, one of them might be more liberal or have different liberal tendencies or whatever. But if we're speaking broadly, well, who is further apart politically? Two liberals or a liberal and a conservative? Yeah, this is the high IQ audience this guy is cultivating. You know, he at the start of his audience, he has to reassure his audience. Yeah, we notice patterns because we're intelligent. It's because you guys are intelligent, guys. You guys are totally not retarded. Many women are performing goth face. Goth face isn't a real thing. It's insulting to legit goths. No, having an aesthetic is not insulting. What are we talking about? Who fucking cares? You're whining about nothing. Now, you could say that being goth is watered down, which it is. But being goth isn't about the aesthetic. It's about a certain subculture. Anyways, the rise of women seems to be correlating with the fall of society. He might just convert me. White heart, black heart emojis. Great. There's some, like, boomer woman. Let's see. Is it a boomer? Let's check. Yup. She looks like she's about 45 years old. Another boomer. Like, maybe, I mean, okay, to be fair, this is like somewhere between, like, if I'm gonna be real, like, this is probably somewhere between millennial and Gen X. I can't tell if this person's Gen X or millennial. It's somewhere in that range. But yeah, I don't know why I can tell. Like, you can just tell from some of, like, the facial features. I don't know why, like, you can't even, like, see necessarily, like, any wrinkles aside from the eyes and, like, the nasolabial folds, which are some of the first things to age. But I don't know. I actually don't know why this person looks so old. I actually couldn't tell you in, like, an objective sense. Maybe the filter, like, this is such an old person filter to use. It definitely doesn't help. The hair is, like, kind of thin, like, very thinned out, maybe. Eyebrows are actually quite good. Yeah, I don't know. Her lips aren't, like, fucking tiny. I actually don't know. Like, objectively, this person shouldn't look like they're in their 40s. But, like, they do. I don't know. Maybe late 30s at best. I actually couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you why that person looks so old. Woman here, I've been female since conception. Well, yeah, everyone was female at conception. So, like, you could be a man and female at conception. Like, you could be a cisgender man. And you would have been female at conception because everyone is female at conception. What are you saying? I've noticed a lot of women don't want to know the truth. I'm an elder goth. I actually came from the hood. A lot of women don't want to know. Yeah, this is just like survivorship bias. Okay. Purple vamp. Let's see. No channel again. Yeah, you're certainly elderly, all right. Yeah, elderly goth, emphasis on the elderly. Okay, now I'm just roasting people. Because, okay, but I'm sorry, but like, elderly goth, emphasis on the elderly. I mean, what else am I supposed to say? I'm sorry. It's mean, but it's true. I wouldn't get her pregnant? Yeah, I don't think anyone would. From the accent, I thought he was American, but it sounds like the video. From the video, he is in the UK. With all the free speech violations, imprisoning people for tweets, and wanting to ban certain social medias altogether, I'm now a little worried for his future, as he is not in a country which values, or even necessarily allows dissenting opinions. That's just not true. People in the UK disagree with each other all the time. What are we talking about? Like, yeah, censorship is pretty bad there. It's not right-wingers that are getting censored, though. It's definitely not the right-wingers. Not to say that every dissenter gets arrested, but any dissenter may be arrested if the government woke... The UK government is not woke. What are we talking about? These are outdated talking points. Like, they've been very regressive when it comes to trans issues, for instance. We are entering into a new era. The era of accountability... Sorry, not the era. The area of accountability and finding out. We must not relent. We must stand strong. Historic attitudes towards women are unfair. Okay, here's equality. And the funny thing is they blew it. So you're saying that we shouldn't have equality. You're saying that women should be forced to be subservient to men. Rocking that outfit, Jake. This is how men should be dressing. You know what? I agree. I agree with that. More men should do alt fashion. But it's ultimately patriarchy that stops them. This idea that men have to be a certain way and that women also have to be a certain way. That's called the patriarchy. Right? Men are supposed to be domineering and aggressive or whatever the fuck. Women are supposed to be soft and subservient. Anyways. I think that pretty much sums up everything that I wanted to talk about in that video. We're going to watch another video, but first we're going to restart stream. Okay. Sorry. No, stop. Stop it. Okay, thank you. Very good. Okay. It's going to lag for a brief moment. Okay, it's going to lag. Do not leave, okay? I'm not ending stream yet. Okay? I'm going to keep streaming. It's just going to lag for one moment as I set up the stream that it's going to restart to, but then I'm going to go back to this one. So don't leave. Don't leave. The stream isn't over. And I'm going to set it up with you guys, okay? Don't worry. It's just give me a sec. Okay. We're back. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to YouTube Studio. Okay. I wonder if the newest comments are just as self-hating. Ooh, good point. Let's find out. Oh, wait. I clicked off of that video. Never mind. We already, you know what? I'm curious. We'll open link in new tab. And we're gonna have to stop it. No. Bad. Okay. All right, let's sort by newest. And then we'll switch streams. Let's see. Are they any different? Weak Men happened. Just discovered you and subbed within a minute of listening to you. well-defined description of performative goth girl. You're more American than you realize. Americans don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. We got shit to do. I haven't watched this guy's content in years. WTF happened. Anyways. Preach. Who censored this? Nobody. It's publicly available. It has almost 100,000 views. That's the literal opposite of being censored. It's being promoted in the algorithm. Because it wasn't a well put together video. The arguments weren't good. As a non-woke liberal lefty, I really wish you'd all please stop calling these broken women liberal. They're left-wing extremist authoritarians. Are you a lefty though? See, whenever people say that, like, I don't know if they're actually a lefty. Like, okay, are you a socialist or are you just like a slightly woke pick-me that wants to play both sides? Which one is it? But yeah, no, those comments aren't any different. Anyways, we're gonna go to YouTube Studio. I feel like my voice has gotten deeper again. Oh well. Anyways, I need to like voice train more. What can I say? Okay, we're gonna go over monetization. We're gonna turn that on. Automatic mid-roll ads. Frequency medium. Love your hair and outfit, girl. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm going for the extreme side part. Anyways, okay, we've got that. All right, we're gonna add this to a playlist so I can add a thumbnail on my phone. No altered content. Tags, Femyoz, chill trans girl stream. Save. What else was I gonna do? Oh, right. Go back here. Live control room. Chat. Donate here. Pin that message. Okay. Then we're gonna go over to stream settings. I'm glad you liked my look today. You know, we're going for more of a classic Femyoz aesthetic, I guess. Yes, I will wear the heart choker even though it's cringe. Yes, I will wear thigh highs. You know. Yes, I will over-apply mascara to the point where people can't tell if it's mascara or eyeliner. Yes, I will do all of those things. Redirect. This. Done. Okay. Now I'm going to go over here. Okay, close out that. Go to YouTube Studio. Okay. Get the cat ears. Maybe if we hit the donor goal and it's requested. I don't know. I might bring them back occasionally for like donor goal rewards, but I don't know. I don't like to wear them as much because like, in all honesty, they kind of just like are not comfortable underneath headphones. So it's like I either have to keep taking them off and putting them on depending on whether or not I have my headphones on, or I just keep them off, or I have to deal with the discomfort. I do the same with mascara, Twinsies Lamau. Yeah, like it actually works really well because I have naturally big eyelashes apparently. Bro, I showed my mom my eyelashes, right? I didn't even show her. Like, she just noticed them. And she was like, what mascara do you use? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. I just ordered some shit for $8. And she's like, well, can you go upstairs and go show me what it is? And I'm like, yeah, sure. She's like, yeah, it looks really good. And I'm like, okay. And she ended up getting the same. Now this was many months ago. Now, I think within the last like month or two, she noticed my eyelashes because I had mascara on. Normally when I have mascara on, it's not when I go out or anything. It's usually only when I stream. And I think she asked me like, wait, are those your real lashes? Are those fake lashes or some shit like that? I'm like, no. She's like, so that's just mascara. And I'm like, mm-hmm. Same brand that you were using? And I'm like, mm-hmm. And she was kind of jealous. She was kind of jealous. She's like, this is not fair. And I'm like, you know, maybe not, but hey, I'm you know, yeah, I can't complain. I was like, well, I do apply multiple layers of it. Like I do like I do upper, lower, lower, and then I repeat that like 3 times. Sometimes I do the upper eyelid like 4 times. Though it also depends on like how much have I gone through in terms of the mascara bottle thing. So right now it's like 4 times for the top, 3 times for the bottom. But when it's like newer and there's like more of it that gets on the thingy, I do like maybe like 3 times on the top, 2 times on the bottom. But yeah, I didn't realize how good my eyelashes were until it was pointed out to me, to be honest. Yeah, my eyelashes are naturally long is the thing. So I explained that to her and she was like, yeah, I do that too. And I'm like, oh, you do? She's like, yeah. Doesn't give me the same result. I'm like, huh. I didn't know that. So yeah, I guess I got the good eyelash gene. Good eyelash genes. Because a lot of people end up being very jealous of my. So I'm very glad that the first thing I learned was mascara. Because my best feature, by far, as a woman, is my eyelashes. Holy fuck, they are so good. Because apparently other people don't have them. I didn't realize how good they were until it's like, oh, other people have to like, you know, use eyeliner to make their eyelashes look that big. Oh, huh, interesting. I'm probably gonna end up using eyeliner anyway at some point, and then I can have really big eyelashes. But yeah, I'll never need fake lashes. Maybe when I'm like older, because like obviously as people age, maybe it's gonna be the case that like if hair doesn't grow as thickly, eyebrows thin out, eyelashes thin out. So if I end up making it to being in my 50s, let's say, chances are my eyelashes are gonna need some little fake extension guys. I have long eyelashes too. Women always compliment them, but it always sucks when they fall in my eyes. Yo, that's real as fuck. Hello, Blade Williams. Anyways. But yeah. So always seemingly how it works. My father and my son both have gorgeous, naturally long, black, thick lashes. Yeah, mine are naturally lighter. So that'd be like the one flaw with my eyelashes. But that's like easily fixed. You like literally just one layer of mascara is enough to make them to make them black. Even if it's like a thin layer of it. So, in terms of whether or not it's gonna look, I mean, the worst part about long lashes, the straggly eyelash and the eye lol. Yeah, honestly, like, yeah, fair. I feel like I've gotten really good at avoiding that though. It's like if you have long eyelashes for your whole life, like, you know how to avoid getting them in your eyes, right? You always are like cognizant of not like fucking around with your eyes too much because you will get an eyelash in. Though to be fair, it's not as bad anymore because like in the past, like there would be like an eyelash would just like, I don't know if it would like fall out or something or like get ripped off or some shit, but it would end up in my eye. It wouldn't even be attached to like where the eyelash grows. So, oh yeah, I was recently laid off. I'm really sorry to hear that. So I can watch regularly again. Well, I guess that's the silver lining. At least until homeless arc. Please don't go homeless. Mine are lighter too, femme. Naturally dirty blonde haired here. And they're very light brown, lol. Yeah, mine are like light brown. Mine are light brown naturally. So, yeah. Like, low-key, I've thought about, like in terms of, like, Like, I don't know. I might start putting makeup on my eyebrows to make them darker as well. Because, like, low-key, I mean, I like my eyebrows. You know, they're like a decent color, but like I feel like they could be a bit darker. Because like higher contrast is good. It's more like from what I understand, um women tend to have higher contrast faces on average, I think. Looking very cute and femme, I mean Dami. Well, thank you. Femi, I'm just wondering if you can see my comments. I have McDonald's Wi-Fi and I want to make sure it's working. Yes. I think you should dye your hair blue, purple, or red and get layers. You would pull that off no matter what. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of work, so I'm not gonna do all that. Otherwise, I would. Just jokes, I'll be fine. For some reason, my eyebrows are dark brown, but my lashes and hair are lighter. Interesting. I mean, that's fairly standard, at least the eyebrows being darker. I would think that the eyelashes would be the darkest, and then your eyebrows, and then your hair. Generally. You would think. Or like the eyebrows and eyelashes would be like the same. And then the hair might be like the same or slightly lighter. Smash your past Ben Quadaneros? Absolutely smash. A very big bottle of lotion on the dresser in the background. Very incriminating, Femyoz. It's incriminating of me having dry skin. And if that's a crime, then I am guilty as charged. Because holy fuck, it's dry as fuck right now. It's dry as fuck here. My hair's dark brown and my brows are blonde. Oof. Yeah, definitely dye your eyebrows then, is my advice. Your eyebrows should not be lighter than your hair. Dye it. Dye it, okay. Unless you like it that way, but generally most people don't prefer that. It generally looks better if your eyebrows are the same or darker compared to your hair. Yeah. I would presume that yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's actually very atypical, I think. People don't usually have eyebrows lighter than their hair. Unless they're a redhead. Oftentimes redheads have eyebrows that are lighter than their hair. But that's the exception. Were you like a redhead at any point? Anyways, I need to pee. I'm gonna be right back, and then I'm probably gonna restart stream. Don't leave, don't leave. We have a little bit more just chatting to do, I'm sure. Oh, you had blonde hair as a kid. Yeah, that makes sense too. Yeah, the only people with blonde eyebrows or eyebrows lighter than their hair are gonna be some blondies and some gingers. Yeah, that sounds about right. Anyways, be right back. Be back in like a minute, don't worry. Alright, don't leave. Okay, we're back. We're back. I hope y'all didn't leave me. I'm sorry I was gone. Okay, I've come back with the milk and cigarettes. Okay, don't worry. Oh, man. Yeah, dude, skincare equals being a gooner. That's so true. Truth nuke. Anyways. Sorry. If it looks good, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That being said, let me make sure that if I... Okay, yeah, it'll redirect. Oh, right, I need to add a thumbnail to the stream that it's gonna redirect to. Okay, we're gonna restart stream in a minute. Don't go anywhere. It'll redirect you when it needs to, and if it doesn't, then obviously refresh. If it's just, you know, doing a whole lot of nothing. Wait. I already did that. I'm so stupid. Wow, I don't have the best memory, it seems. Alright, we're gonna restart stream now. It'll redirect you. There should be like a thing that pops up or redirects you to the next stream. If it doesn't, for whatever wacky reason, then, just, sue me. No, I'm just kidding. Just, you know, refresh my page until you see the next live stream. Because I'm not going anywhere. I'm just restarting for the algorithm. Yay, we love the algorithm. Woohoo! Yay! Yippee! Sorry, I'm just doing my hair before I, you know, start the next stream. Just because I wanna... I'm going for something, like, different. Okay, I'm going for something weird. Okay, I'm trying to look a little bit more weird. Okay, I look too normal. I've been too normal looking recently. Okay, that's the issue. I look too normal. There we go. Anyways, with that being said, I will see you in literally 5 fucking seconds. It should refresh if it doesn't redirect you. Okay? Anyways.